things.
Good morning, everyone. Before we begin today's meeting, I'd invite everyone to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to call roll for April 24th, 2026 meeting of the Board of Regents.
Regent
Roll call,
Regent Lacey,
Yes.
Regent Calamari,
Here.
Regent Wilkins,
Here.
Regent Schroeder,
Yeah.
Regent Claire,
Yes.
Regent Kenny,
Yes.
Regent Makovica,
Yes.
Regent Schaefer,
Yes.
Regent Shear,
Yes.
Regent Stark,
Yes.
Regent Whites,
Yes.
Regent Wilmot. A quorum's present.
Thank you. In your materials, you have copies of the minutes from the board meeting from February 6, 2026. I'd entertain a motion for approval. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes?
So move. Second.
Any additions or corrections? Nope. Roll call, please.
Regent Calamari,
Yes.
Regent Wilkins.
Yes.
Regent Schroeder.
Yes.
Regent Lacey.
Yes.
Regent Kenny. Regent Makovica.
Yes.
Regent Schaefer.
Yes.
Regent Shear.
Yes.
Regent Stark.
Yes.
Regent Whites.
Yes.
Regent Wilmot. Regent Claire.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. In compliance with the Nebraska Open Meetings Act, the board has posted a copy of the act in the back of the room. To begin the meeting, I'd like to invite Major General Rick Evans III, NSRI Executive Director, to provide us an update on the NSRI activity. Major General?
Thank you, Chairman Kenny. Regents, President Gold, it's a pleasure to be with you today. I am Rick Evans, the Executive Director for the National Strategic Research Institute at the University of Nebraska, known as NSRI, and since Chancellor Lee's in the room, also a proud alumnus of the University of Nebraska at Omaha. NSRI operates a Department of War designated University Affiliated Research Center, or UARC for short, on behalf of the University of Nebraska system. This capability connects the university directly with some of the most critical national security challenges facing our country. Today, I'll show you why this is one of the most strategically important assets of the University of Nebraska. See if the slides work. There we go. NSRI is also one of the 3 system-wide institutes of the University of Nebraska and the only one that's operated as a separate corporation. This structure delivers 4 things: mission-funded research, direct access to national security decision makers, both in Nebraska and across the nation, engagement for faculty and students, and positioning as a leader in national security research. UARC's focus on solving tomorrow's challenges so they don't become today's problems. And ultimately, our work delivers capabilities that give our warfighters the best chance to accomplish their missions and return home to their families. For many on the UARC team, especially our veterans and those who have service members in their families, the mission is personal. You can see on the screen, these aren't our words. This is how both our sponsor, U.S. Strategic Command, and our university leadership describe the UARC. During his command tenure, General Tony Cotton emphasized the need for partners who can solve complex challenges in new ways. That's the role NSRI plays for U.S. Strategic Command. And President Gold has called the UARC a priceless asset for the University of Nebraska. The value to the university comes from the fact that the mission depends on our capabilities. So let me show you in the next few slides how that translates. At its core, a UARC is a long-term strategic partnership between the Department of War and a university. This slide comes directly from the Undersecretary of War for Research and Engineering, and there are only 15 UARCs in the country, and it's a list every major university wants to be on. We know because they call us. UARCs provide independent, trusted expertise on the government's most complex challenges. They're not designed to have a profit or financial motive. They're designed to have impact on the mission. What makes this UARC unique is that we're also co-located with our sponsor, U.S. Strategic Command at Offutt Air Force Base. This is not a typical research contract. It's a national level designation. And here in Nebraska, we look at ourselves as the home team for U.S. Strategic Command. So now you have a sense of what a UARC is, a special trusted partner relationship with the military focused on addressing the nation's most critical national security problems. This places Nebraska in an elite group alongside other Big Ten institutions and leading research institutions like Johns Hopkins, Georgia Tech, MIT, and Texas. These UARCs operate nationally, extending the reach of their universities to where research requirements are generated. NSRI follows that same model with a presence in key locations where our sponsors operate. This allows us to stay closely aligned with their research requirements and bring that work back to the university. For the university, this is not just about research, it's strategic positioning at the national level. Because this model is highly selective, our priorities are deliberate. First, we must maintain the UARC designation. This is something that must be continuously earned because it's renewed and reviewed every 5 years. Second, we like having U.S. Strategic Command as our sponsor because that relationship drives access and mission alignment. And third, we're focused on increasing and growing research opportunities for the University of Nebraska through robust campus and faculty engagement. These priorities are directly connected as performance sustains the designation and the designation creates opportunities for the university. This UARC is not just a research program, it's a strategic access point for the university into national security missions and decision-making. We've successfully achieved the first two priorities, and that's evidenced by renewal of our UARC designation this year and award of our fourth IDIQ contract. While funding is not guaranteed, this new contract enables up to $500 million in research over the next decade, making it the largest research contract in the University of Nebraska's history. It represents a clear vote of confidence from both U.S. Strategic Command and the Department of War. These long-term contracts create the framework for rapid response and expanded research opportunities across the university. And on the screen, you saw some perspectives from our congressional delegation, and then on the slide right now from President Gold as our university leader. Priority number 3, growing research opportunities for the NU system, has helped the Institute grow its relationship with the government. We have delivered on that promise, which positions NSRI well to capitalize on the opportunities afforded by this new contract. The numbers you see here represent the scale of research activity flowing into the university through NSRI. Since 2012, we have received 200 contracts and awards from a variety of sponsors and actually executed research valued at $193 million. That counts for the University of Nebraska. We have 20 active projects today, most of which include University of Nebraska faculty and students from across our system. These numbers show scale, but success for a UARC is really defined by mission impact. Here you can see our research focus areas that are assigned to this UARC by the Department of War. This is where the government expects NSRI and the University of Nebraska to deliver unique and essential research capability and capacity to quickly respond to needs. For the university, these areas defined where we bring faculty, students, and NSRI capabilities together to deliver impactful research. Because these areas are predefined and approved, they allow work to be awarded quickly through the UARC contract when a requirement is identified by a sponsor. Within these areas, the expectation is clear. If it's in our lane, we're expected to say yes. The Department of War continually reviews these areas to assure that they're relevant to today's requirements and also the performance of the UARC and the university in terms of meeting those capabilities and providing essential services to the Department of War. When the government has responsible requirements in these areas, we're ready to deliver on them right now. So let me show you what this looks like in practice. Since 2017, the Defense Health Agency has invested approximately $35 million through NSRI to develop a pre-treatment therapeutic for acute radiation syndrome. The goal is simple: protect warfighters and first responders who may have to enter a radiological environment after a nuclear event, whether it's hostile or an accident. This work is being led by a team that includes faculty and students from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln and the University of Nebraska Medical Center, along with NSRI staff. Here on the slide, you see Dr. Rebecca Oberle-Deegan from UNMC working on the project. The important point to take away is this capability does not exist today. Nebraska is developing it. This is exactly the type of challenge that a UARC is designed to solve. NSRI is also supporting U.S. Strategic Command and their emerging mission areas, including, as you see in the slide, what we call Joint Electromagnetic Spectrum Operations, or GEMSO for short. Military operations today depend upon reliable access to the electromagnetic spectrum, and control of the spectrum is critical to successful accomplishment of missions. Pictured here is a research team that includes STRATCOM personnel, NSRI staff, and members of Dr. John Varon's Cyber Physical Networking Lab at UNL. Dr. Varon's team is leveraging artificial intelligence to rapidly adapt to changing conditions in the spectrum, helping ensure our warfighters can operate effectively in a highly contested and congested environment. NSRI is developing capabilities and analysis needed to operate in this domain, another great example of the University of Nebraska contributing to critical national security missions. Let me bring this all together in the last couple slides. First, this work directly supports national security missions. The University of Nebraska is contributing to some of the nation's most critical challenges. Second, the U in UARC matters. It's a university-wide effort with faculty, students, and researchers across the system contributing to this mission. We have over 150 faculty members in our academic network. Third, we're developing the next generation of national security leaders. Students are not just participating, they're actually building careers in national security. And fourth, this work generates meaningful economic impact for the university, reflecting growing demand for our capabilities. So in this very short period of time today, what I hope you've seen is that the University of Nebraska is contributing to some of the nation's most critical challenges. Our mission is simple: to help the nation confront strategic threats through leading-edge research, technology, and expertise. This UARC is an important asset to our nation that brings distinction to the University of Nebraska and creates unique opportunities for our researchers. NSRI ensures the University of Nebraska is not just participating in national security, we're helping shape the future of national security in our nation. This UARC is a strategic asset for the nation and a defining capability for the University of Nebraska. Thank you for your continued support and advocacy, and I look forward to any questions you may have.
Anyone have some questions?
Well, I would just, not a question, more of a comment. And one, thank you for your work. And when you think about the Pentagon solving major issues that not only impact our nation but the world, I think it's a pretty awesome responsibility that they're calling 402. That's pretty amazing. And so, at the same time, while it's amazing, I wouldn't want them calling anyplace else, because I trust that we're going to get it done right. So thank you very much for all you've done.
Yeah, thank you, Regent Clare. We can be very proud of that, because they are calling 402 for some of the most important things that our nation is dealing with, and we're out there getting the mission done every day.
General Evans, again, thank you for a great presentation. Perhaps you would just very briefly comment on the potential civilian applications of some of the research that's going on at NSRI, because one could construe that it only has applications in the military.
Yeah, so in fact, one of the trends we're seeing from the Department of War guidance to UARC, which is actually being updated this week, we just received new guidance, is how do we more effectively take work that's been done in the UARC environment and within the academic environment and apply that to non-military application. The other thing that's starting to, and is really a change to how they use UARCs, is we're actually being asked to partner with industry and offer our capabilities outside of the Department of War. That's a little bit unique because UARCs actually have a trusted relationship with the government that in the past has almost precluded us from doing that. So the emphasis in the future is going to be on delivering solutions not only for the warfighter, but really for our nation and more broadly. And we do have international partnerships as well, where we're being asked to provide, for example, consequence management support in conjunction with UNMC to various nations around the world. So we are being called on, and our work is both military and applications on the civilian side as well.
I want to add my thank you, and I also want to say, driving from Omaha today and listening to the news on NPR, push for NPR, you've touched on some really critical things that are happening in the world right now, and I'm really grateful for the work you're doing in terms of research for how we're prepared for what we may or may not face. And I'm wondering, this is a hard question to answer, but we've read a lot about grant money being slow to come. How confident are you in terms of the grant money flowing that you're entitled to receive?
Yeah, thank you, Regent White. So that's a good question because typically a university thinks about grants. So think about that as I'm going to give you a certain amount of money, you're going to execute this work over a certain period of time, and then you're going to deliver a product. UARCs are a little bit different because we actually deal in cost reimbursable contracts.
Okay.
So those require progress on a monthly basis that's measured by the government against certain deliverables. And ultimately, the end result of that is how does it give the warfighter an advantage? And so therefore, we have not really seen the kind of some of the same issues you've seen with the National Science Foundation or National Institutes of Health, because we don't typically deal in the grant side of that. And most of our work is multi-year. So really what we look for is the annual impact on budgets for incrementally funded projects that we have. So I wouldn't say we're insulated from that, but it's a little different than just a typical university world, which also offers opportunity for the university to have work coming in that's not tied to changes in policy.
Right. I really thank you. And I just want to put a word in. I liked your name, your previous name, Department of Defense. So I just want to say, I know war's happening and it's important, but I really wish we were focused on peace.
That may or may not change again in 3 years. But I can report that the UARC management plan that just came into us this week very clearly says we are a Department of War designated university affiliated research center.
I understand. Thank you so much again.
Rob?
I'd just like to say thank you for coming and sharing. This is a great opportunity for the university. It expands our footprint nationally and globally, and as well as our research portfolio. And I think this, from the standpoint that it's with the federal government, I see this as a source. It's not only going to continue to be there for this type of research, but I think the possibilities to grow this into a much bigger situation and program than what it is today are endless. We need to continue to work to help our warfighters to have every advantage on the battlefield. And so with that, we all owe a debt of gratitude to General Evans and the folks working in his department and every man and woman that serve in uniform. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Regent Schaefer. Yeah, certainly I stand up here representing our team. We have 80 employees at NSRI, but we, of course, extend out into the university. Thank you for your service. I think since he's currently serving, and he also knows my son serves in the Nebraska Air National Guard and is getting ready to deploy to CENTCOM, we are very interested in how do we give them every advantage to succeed in their mission and come home to their families. So if you take something away, how important this is, that's really the story that we're talking about. And whether it's my family member or one of yours or an extended family member, that's critically important to our nation.
Well, and I think everybody in the room knows somebody that serves in the military, whether it's a family member, a colleague at work, or just a neighbor. So it's really important. And I guess as far as the one question I would have for you is what can we do as a university and the Board of Regents in the administration to help you do your job better?
Yeah, thank you for that. So when I look at this, of course, this new contract, our fourth, offers a huge opportunity. So the numbers are pretty impressive. $500 million potential over the next 10 years. So your support and advocacy for the university to build the capabilities that allow us to continue this UARC and take full advantage of that become very important. And certainly to work with President Gold and the university leadership on ensuring that this kind of unique asset that lives within the university ecosystem, different than any other institute because we're a separate corporation that has very specific responsibilities that don't apply to anybody else within the university ecosystem, that's recognized and that we have the resources, just like any business, to take advantage of growth opportunities that are out there for us in the future. Thank you.
I was just going to say thank you for your service, too.
Anyone else? General, I just want to thank you too. One of my exposures is we looked at the research on how to set up a highly technical command center in the middle of nowhere. You know, this has been 5 or 6 years ago when we were at that site. And it was amazing, you know, the technology that went into it. And it was just a modular setup that you could move in and you know, within an hour have a command center with all the toys. Thank you for your service, and thank you for what you do for the university.
Thank you, Chairman Kenny. Thank you.
We'll now move to kudos. At each Board of Regents meeting, we also take time to recognize those persons who often don't receive the recognition they deserve. The Board of Regents believes that it's vitally important that we acknowledge your commitment as well as your contributions to the university. To have been nominated by either a supervisor or a fellow worker is an honor in itself. As a kudos recipient are announced, please come forward to the podium and join the regent making the presentation. Following each presentation, we will take a picture that will appear on our website. The president, chancellor, and recipients, family, and supporters will be part of that photo. The first kudos recipient is Megan Teletke from the University of Nebraska at Kearney. The award will be presented by Regent Schroeder. Sam?
The Board of Regents is honored to present a Kudos Award to Megan Teletke, Assistant Director of Facilities Management and Planning for the University of Nebraska at Kearney. Megan joined the UNK facilities team in June 2020 as the business manager. Through her leadership, dedication, and strong understanding of university operations, she was promoted to Assistant Director of Facilities in 2022. She oversees a wide range of critical operations that keep the campus running smoothly. These include service desk operations, accounts payable and receivable, facilities payroll and record keeping, central stores, purchasing, asset disposal and surplus inventory, environmental health and safety, events and reservations, mail services, and motor pool operations. Her important role in financial stewardship and her contributions to budgeting efforts help facilities in the broader campus. She has also served on the Campus Budget Advisory Committee. In addition, she leads our campus sustainability efforts and education, guiding initiatives that support an environmentally responsible campus community. Engaged in campus leadership and service, she is serving as a Staff Senate representative and as a chair of the Staff Senate Professional Development and Engagement Committee. She has been an active participant in both Leadership UNK and Leadership Kearney. She notes that her success is a direct reflection of the dedication, hard work, and professionalism of her team, and they are essential to all that she accomplishes. Her impact extends beyond campus, as she has served as the Finance Committee Chair for the Central Association of Physical Plant Administrators since November 2023. Megan's leadership and commitment to service make her highly deserving of this recognition at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. With Megan are her husband, Brian Teletke, and her supervisor, Director of Facilities Management and Planning, Michael Kramers. Please join me in thanking Megan for her dedication and outstanding contributions to UNK.
Congratulations, Megan. Regent Wilkins will present the Kudos Award to Gail Meyer from the University of Nebraska at Lincoln.
The Board of Regents is pleased to present a Kudos Award to Gail Meyer, Associate Registrar at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. With more than 40 years of service, Gail has demonstrated a steadfast commitment to excellence, leaving a meaningful and lasting impact across campus. Her nomination is supported by colleagues in the Office of the Registrar, Undergraduate Academic Advising, and Academic Navigators leadership teams. Gail's exceptional professionalism and dedication have been vital to the development and refinement of degree audits and graduation clearance processes, helping ensure students can move forward with confidence as they reach this important milestone. I have also sent an email to Gail to make sure that my graduation, I would actually be able to walk. She consistently goes above and beyond, often volunteering her own time to meet the needs of the campus community. Colleagues describe Gail as an essential resource for advising teams and academic units. She plays a key role in training advisors, adapting to evolving systems, and navigating complex degree requirements, all while anticipating and addressing challenges before they arise. What truly distinguishes Gail is her kindness, integrity, and collaborative spirit. She approaches every interaction with care and positivity, and her colleagues trust her for clear, thoughtful, and reliable guidance. She maintains a strong focus on student success in every aspect of her work. One recent example at commencement reflects this commitment. When a student broke her shoe after tripping, Gail immediately offered her own so the student could cross the stage without interruption.
That's really good.
Joining Gail are University Registrar Steve Boutin, Associate Registrar Katie Kerr and Mary Beth Helming, Advising Academic Programs Coordinator in the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. Please join me in thanking Gail Meyer for her dedication to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln.
Congratulations, Gail. Regent Calamari will present the Kudos Award to Diane Morris Mack from the University of Nebraska Medical Center.
On behalf of the Board of Regents, I am pleased to present a Kudos Award to Diane Mack, Director of Emergency Management at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. Diane has played a critical role in emergency preparedness and continuity planning across UNMC, including leading recovery efforts after a November 2025 fire in the Durham Research Center on the UNMC Omaha campus. Diane's inclusive leadership helped build confidence during a time of uncertainty and enabled recovery teams to help displaced researchers resume critical work as quickly and safely as possible. She and the incident command team made difficult decisions under pressure while balancing safety, research continuity, and resource constraints, while recognizing the emotional toll of the incident on the research community. Since joining UNMC in 2021, Diane has developed and refined protocols that ensure UNMC is ready to respond to crises effectively, while safeguarding research, patient care, and operational integrity. She finds satisfaction in helping individuals work together during a crisis and volunteers her time with Team Rubicon, a veteran-led disaster response organization. Today, Diane is joined by Charlotte Evans, Associate Vice Chancellor and the UNMC Chief of Police, Bill Smith, Direct Supervisor and Emergency Management Coordinator, Patrick Rodarty, Emergency Preparedness Coordinator, Joel Williams, Compliance and Performance Coordinator, and her boyfriend, Richard Locke. Join me in thanking Diane for her leadership, dedication, and vision in strengthening UNMC's resilience and emergency preparedness planning.
Congratulations, Diane. Regent Lysy will present the Kudos Award to December Lang Tracy from the University of Nebraska at Omaha.
The Board of Regents is pleased to present a Kudos Award to December Lang Tracy, Director of Undergraduate Advising for the University of Nebraska at Omaha College of Business Administration. Steve Scholes, the Lucas Diamond Professor and Associate Professor of Management, says that December has transformed the CBA advising operation through strategic vision and operational efficiency. Her efforts have yielded measurable improvements in student outcomes. She implemented data-driven systems that streamline student interactions, developed communication protocols that ensure consistent messaging across the advising team, and established quality assurance measures that have elevated the services provided to students. But her impact doesn't just stop there. Scholes says that December's influence extends well beyond traditional advising boundaries. She has become an indispensable strategic partner in academic program development, contributing essential insights that bridge student outcomes with curriculum development. Her analytical approach to program evaluation has informed critical decisions about new program launches and existing program modifications. And actually, December was my very first advisor in the College of Business, so this is a very special moment. December is joined today by her husband, Sean Tracy, and Dr. Molly Billou, Assistant Dean of Student Success and Recruitment for the College of Business Administration. Please join me in thanking December for her amazing dedication to the University of Nebraska at Omaha.
Congratulations, December. While our kudos guests are welcome to stay for the balance of the meeting, we understand you may have other plans for the day. If that's the case, we'll take a moment to allow you and your families to exit the meeting. Then I will turn it over to Regent Scheer to present a resolution.
Oops, changed order.
Excuse me, that's not there.
No. You're asking public comment.
This is the last regular board meeting for the student regents. In keeping with tradition, we will present resolutions in recognition of the contributions and the service to the University of Nebraska Board of Regents. After presenting regents reads your resolution, we will take a photo. Following the photo, we are invited to make a brief remark, followed by our favorite tradition, singing each campus fight song. Got it? Our first resolution honors Sam Schroeder from the University of Nebraska at Kearney, and the resolution will be presented by Regent Wilmot.
Just to make sure there's no misunderstanding, Sam, I don't sing with you when it comes to Whereas Sam Schroeder has served with distinction as a representative of the Association of Students of the University of Nebraska at Kearney for 4 years. In that time, serving 2 years as the president of the student body and student regent. And whereas Regent Schroeder authored and passed 29 pieces of legislation in the UNK Student Senate, resulting in more than $230,000 invested into student life on campus. And whereas Regent Schroeder consistently prioritized fiscal responsibility within the UNK student government budget, ensuring that every dollar spent by students through student fees was fully allocated toward effective initiatives that benefited the student body. And whereas Regent Schroeder served on many committees, providing the students perspective in the areas of health affairs, athletics, budget reduction, efficiency and academic advising, the revision of UNK's mission, vision, and values, and whereas throughout his tenure of leadership in student government and in the Greek community, Regent Schroeder championed affordable housing and community-driven residence life policies, understanding the importance of on-campus living as a tool for building campus community and increasing university revenue. Whereas Regent Schroeder created meaningful, cordial relationships with UNK and NU administration, the Board of Regents, members of the unicameral, Governor Jim Pillen, federal representatives, and students throughout the NU system. Now, therefore, be it highly resolved, the University of Nebraska Board of Regents expresses great appreciation for the tremendous and outstanding contributions of Regent Sam Schroeder during his 2 terms as the UNK student regent.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it fell.
Well, this was a lot of fun. Just wanted to say thank you to the regents, you, President Gold, Secretary Hoffman, and thank you to your teams as well for the past 2 years of helping me understand the complexities of the university and supporting us student regents. I've been extremely grateful for getting a seat at the table to learn about this institution that I love and how to navigate advocacy and policy making. I particularly want to thank Regents Kenny, Shear, and Schaefer for coaching me through a lot of these moments. And before we get into my musical performance, I'd just like to say thank you to all the UNK people back on campus and here today. I wouldn't trade the last 4 years for anything. So thank you for making the campus so special. Now, last year, when I sang the fight song, I brought up Regent Kenny and Wilmot up with me. This year, I won't punish you all. My ears are still ringing. Instead, I'd like to invite a former band director and the newest chancellor of the University of Nebraska system. Please welcome Chancellor Neil Schnorr. I didn't tell him this was happening, by the way.
I'm just the backup singer.
Okay. We have music. Perfect.
Fight for UNK, march on to victory all the way. Keep up your fighting spirit, we'll always cheer it. That's what we're here for, that's what we cheer for. Fight for the blue and gold. Cheer for the blue and the gold. And together we stand proud of the best in the land. We fight for you and hey.
Thank you, Regent Wilmot, and thank you, Regent Schroeder. not making me sing. Our next resolution honors Libby Wilkins from the University of Nebraska at Lincoln. And the resolution will be presented by Regent Claire. Tim?
And I am not singing. Every year I stand up here and start by saying how bullish about the future I am when you hear about the young leaders and you have the opportunity to work with the young leaders that we do every year, and this year is no exception. The opportunity to work with people who are engaged, who have high integrity, who have high character, who just inquisitive and interested, not interesting. So they're hearing what the issue is and talking about the issue rather than wanting to be heard. And so I really, I say the same thing about these young people today, and it's truly a privilege to stand here and present Libby, a truly remarkable person, and with thanks and gratitude for a job really well done. And so it's really a privilege here. I'm just so proud of you. So whereas Libby Wilkins served with exceptional distinction as a representative of the Association of Students of the University of Nebraska at Lincoln, ASUN, fulfilling the roles of student body president and student regent for the 2025-26 academic year. And whereas Regent Wilkins served on numerous campus committees and cultivated strong formal and informal relationships with key members of UNL administration, the University of Nebraska Board of Regents, and university partners, advancing shared governance throughout collaborative leadership while consistently centering the interests of students. And whereas Regent Wilkins diligently and effectively represented students' interests as a member of the UNL Academic Planning Committee and as a student regent during a period of significant campus challenges, providing a clear and thoughtful student voice amid difficult budgetary decisions. And whereas Regent Wilkins expanded the reach and impact of ASUN through numerous intentional programming initiatives, including the planning, organization, and execution of the highly successful inaugural Recognized Student Organization, RSO Leadership Summit, strengthening support for student leaders across campus. And whereas Regent Wilkins led the development and implementation of the pilot Husker Safe Ride program, providing reliable and safe transportation for students 7 days a week between the hours of 9 p.m. and 3 a.m., with nearly 10,000 rides utilized during the spring 2026 semester alone. And whereas also, I'm adding this, Regent Wilkins provided great leadership at the Newman Center on the University of Nebraska Lincoln's campus and will be working as a focused missionary after graduation in May. Now therefore be it resolved that the University of Nebraska Board of Regents expresses its sincere appreciation and commendation for the outstanding leadership, dedicated service, and lasting contributions of Regent Libby Wilkins during her term as a student regent at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. We'll get a picture, yeah.
Well, I believe less is more, especially when it comes to giving remarks at a Board of Regents meeting, so I'll keep this short. But I do just want to sincerely thank each one of you for this year. I came into this role virtually blind. I'd never been involved in student government before, but I decided that I wanted to make tangible change on UNL's campus, and so I ran. And I didn't recognize at that time that I would have the opportunity to meet 8+ amazing mentors throughout this year. And I just want to thank you all for your work. It's not easy, and you do it so gracefully. And thank you for the ways in which you uplift student voices and invite us to the table in every conversation. So I grew up in Ainsworth, Nebraska, and I still to this day remember my first drive from Ainsworth to Lincoln for a Husker football game. I was 8 years old at the time, and that's when I first learned the fight song that I get to sing later. And I still recall yelling "Go Big Red" off of the South Stadium ramp, which I feel like is perfect for this meeting. And that little girl just wouldn't have dreamed that I would be the student body president someday. But throughout this year, I just have fostered this deep sense of gratitude that I got to represent the Big Red N. And I have never been more proud of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln and all of the work that we're doing. So with that, let's stop talking and start singing. I believe that there are probably at least 30 people in this room who know the UNL fight song, because there is no place like Nebraska. So I would like to have, first of all of the Board of Regents members stand with me and sing. You don't have to go do it into your microphone. I'd like to have all of you stand with me and sing. And anyone in the room who knows the fight song, please sing and clap along.
And then stand in the back and mouth it.
'Cause there is no place like Nebraska. Dear old Nebraska, you. The girls are the fairest, the boys are the squarest of any old school that I knew. There is no place like Nebraska, where they're all true. They'll all stick together in all kinds of weather for dear old Nebraska, you. Go Huskers! Go Huskers!
Thank you, Regent Claire, and many thanks, Regent Wilkins. Regent Makovica will present the resolution for the University of Nebraska Medical Center student Brock Calamari.
That fight song still gives me goosebumps. And I want to just thank all the student regents for your commitment to the university. It's amazing what you guys do, and it's a big commitment. And I understand time commitments at the university, so congratulate you on that. So whereas Brock Calamari has served as a member of the University of Nebraska Board of Regents and as president of the University of Nebraska Medical Center Student Senate during the 25-26 term. Whereas Regent Calamari represented himself, his institution, and his fellow students with dignity and integrity during board meetings and events, and has served as a local and unwavering advocate for students throughout UNMC and the NU system. And whereas Regent Calamari has served in this capacity while balancing the demands of medical school, including serving as a public advocate for the university. And whereas Regent Calamari led the establishment of the Policy and Advocacy Committee, which focuses on educating students on how they can engage in advocacy with local and state lawmakers. And whereas Regent Calamari brought edits to the Board of Regents policies, including those to allow the Student Senate to better support and recognize student organization events across campus, and to better protect student privacy. And whereas he led the conclusion of a 2-year process of Student Senate constitutional edits, so they may be presented to the student body, chancellors, and regents in the coming months. And whereas the UNMC Student Senate, under his leadership, evaluated and selected a new local nonprofit supplier for UNMC's student menstrual product program. which brought lower costs while expanding the program to more areas across UNMC campuses. And whereas Regent Calamari advocated for UNMC administration to identify private loan alternatives, as new UNMC students in many programs face capped federal loan support. And whereas he served as a crucial member of the UNMC Chancellor Search Committee and the 1% for Art Committee selecting art pieces for the new UNMC student housing residences. And whereas Regent Calamari was a committed supporter of Project Health and its potential to revolutionize and expand healthcare in the state, as well as improve the patient experience for Nebraska medicine patients. Now therefore, be it resolved that the University of Nebraska Board of Regents expresses its sincere appreciation for Regent Brock Calamari's dedicated service and effective leadership as a member of the board and wishes him success in all his future endeavors.
Yeah, get the picture, man.
Get two.
You do have a face for radio.
Jeez. That's rude.
So I'm kind of famously not short with my words, so I apologize. I would like to thank all the staff and faculty at UNMC for all the excellent work they do. UNMC and Nebraska Medicine have the great reputation that they do because of their diligent work in patient care and especially in the education of our young students. I should also commend the UNMC administration, including our vice chancellors and our chancellor, for being so open to student feedback and opinions. In today's climate, the work of running a medical training institution is incredibly difficult, but all the more necessary. I appreciate immensely their willingness to rise to that challenge. And to Dr. Davies, I hope you stick around the medical center for a long time. It isn't often that one meets a truly universally respected person. And I think that you deserve every bit of that respect that you receive. And to President Gold and my fellow regents, thank you for dealing with my commentary all year. All my friends tell me I argue too much, so I was maybe born for this job. If there is anything I've learned this year, it's that despite political differences, there are still areas in the government that are having meaningful conversations about what the future will hold for the youth of this nation and the state. People who care about the common person and how they can get ahead in life with a proper, affordable education. And that seems to be, again, all too rare today. We've forgotten the benefits of a university. Our state and nation have chosen the cheaper short-term option over a long-term forward-thinking plan for decades. So I hope that you all hold on to that future-facing vision and all of the projects we're doing to improve the student experience across all of our campuses, because it gives my pessimistic heart a little bit of hope. And I will remember fondly my 9 years of living in Nebraska, and maybe one day after I finally complete my residency and fellowship, I will return. But I won't forget the fact that the University of Nebraska, both at Lincoln and the Medical Center, allowed me to achieve my dream of being a doctor. And that is what the university offers to this state. It offers its young people, and those from around the country and around the world, the opportunity to aspire, the opportunity to become a better version of themselves. This is something that should be available and attainable for every single Nebraskan. So, in conclusion, go Big Red, and more importantly, go Labs. And so for the fight song portion of this, I will be inviting our esteemed Chancellor Davies up to the podium. Oh, and one second. Gotta have the matching hat.
Well.
And after this, if you can't get enough of the UNMC fight song, you are all invited to the big premiere on May 6th at 7:30 at the Strauss Performing Arts Center at UNO, where our very own Nebraska Medical Orchestra and choir will present the full fight song for the adoring public. Let's do this. In Nebraska, healing we bring. In Nebraska, our voices sing. Training the best with precision and flair. For serious medicine and extraordinary care. We got the bark, we got the bite. We'll leave a mark, we'll do things right. All right, nothing and nobody beats the community and unity of UNMC Labs. Go Labs.
Thank you, Regent McAfee, and thank you, Regent Calamari. Our final Regent resolution honors Drew Lacey. Drew is from the University of Nebraska at Omaha and will be presented by Regent Whites.
There's a reason we have a choir.
I'm short, sorry. I'm incredibly thrilled to be presenting this recognition today. And I have to tell you, the hope and joy that these student regents have brought to the board, their engagement, their dedication, their time, their work has been remarkable. All four of you are just brilliant young leaders to come. And I think of it as an omen of hope for our future as a state, as a university, as a country, and in the world. So having said that, I'll now say how I am honored to represent the Board of Regents and this recognition. Whereas, and get ready, it's long, because he's really great. Drew Lacey has served with distinction as the student body president of the Student Government Association and student regent representing the University of Nebraska at Omaha for the 25 and 26 academic year. And we wish it was more for all of you. Whereas throughout his term, Drew Lacey demonstrated a strong commitment to student representation and thoughtful leadership in advancing the interests of the University of Nebraska at Omaha's student body. And whereas Drew introduced the Maverick Impact Award, an initiative designed to recognize student employees, which is a wonderful thing to do, across the campus, whose daily contributions and dedication embody the spirit of Mavericks and whose work often occurs behind the scenes. And we often forget how much they contribute to the well-being of our university. Whereas recognizing the importance of strengthening our connections between student government and registered student organizations. Communication is so critical here, and dedication to embody the Maverick spirit and whose work often occurs behind, jump back a paragraph, sorry. Improve communication and ensure that the voices of student organizations remain connected to our student government at UNO. Whereas Drew advocated for the development of a new athletic training facility, emphasizing the importance of supporting our student athletes' wellness, safety, and performance through improved campus infrastructure. Whereas Drew established Unity Week in March, a campus-wide initiative developed in coordination with the Office of Leadership, creating opportunities for students to build their connections across campus and strengthen a shared sense of them as Maverick family. Whereas Drew worked closely with UNO Student Legal Services to support increased funding for programs that provide accessible legal guidance and educational resources to our students, and thereby expanding the office's ability to serve a much larger portion of the student body. Whereas Drew prioritized transparency in student fee allocation, advocating for greater clarity. Amazing. Greater clarity and helping students better understand how their fees are invested in programs, services, and initiatives across our campus. Whereas Drew's leadership emphasized collaboration, accountability, and thoughtful advocacy. We all know how important that is. I keep looking up, sorry. He has been an incredibly constructive partner in university governance and for the university students that he has represented so well. Be it further resolved, we will miss you all, and especially Drew, very much. Be it further resolved that the board extends their best wishes to Drew Lessey for continued success in his future academic, professional, and leadership endeavors. I'm so pleased to give this to you, Drew.
Okay, I promised to not take up as much time, but I want to echo what Student Regent Calamari has said, as well as Regent Schroeder and Regent Wilkins. Thank you, Regent Weitz, for reading that. That truly meant a lot that you got to read that. Members of the board and university leadership, I am sincerely honored by the resolution and deeply grateful for the opportunity to serve as student regent this past year. Serving in this role gave me a profound appreciation for the responsibility we carry as stewards of the state's only public university system. I had a front row seat to the complexity of the decisions before us, and more importantly, to the care, deliberation, and long-term vision that guide them. As student regent, my goal was to faithfully bring the perspectives, concerns, and aspirations of students into this room, not to speak louder than others, but to speak honestly and to help ensure that the student experience remains central to the conversations shaping the future of the University of Nebraska. I want to express my sincere gratitude to my fellow regents for your mentorship and respect, to our faculty whose dedication to teaching, research, and mentorship makes learning transformative, and to our wonderful staff whose commitment, professionalism, and care hold this institution together in countless essential ways. Students would not be able to learn, grow, or succeed without our staff and faculty. And to the UNO students, thank you for trusting me with the responsibility to represent you. Your voices give meaning to this role, and I am deeply grateful for the trust you placed in me to help raise them. This experience has challenged me, shaped me, and inspired me. I am hopeful for the future of the University of Nebraska, knowing that the student experience will continue to be thoughtfully considered by this board. And as this board leads the institution forward, I will remember to carry the lessons of service, leadership, and thoughtful governance with me long after my term ends. It has truly been an honor to serve with you. Thank you. I now would like to invite every UNO grad or UNO student, staff, and faculty member, I know we have some in the back, that they can make their way up. I'll grab the cards for us, and we will be singing the UNO Fight song. I know that we also have some great alum and people who taught who are also on the board, so if you would like to join as well, I have some cards for us to help.
It's better for everybody. Diane.
Might I say, quite the turnout from UNO. Do you? Might I say?
Might I say?
Okay. Fight, fight for our Mavericks. We will fight, fight, fight for our team. Everyone knows that the whistle blows. We will shout, we will yell, we will scream. Go Mavs! We will fight, fight, fight for our Mavericks. We will cheer so often we know. Be it win or lose, Omaha, we will fight for UNO. UNO! 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 UNO!
Sure you don't want to do that one more time?
Just saying.
Thank you, Barb, and thank you, Regent Lacey. It's now time to turn it over to President Gold for his remarks for the day. President Gold?
Well, good morning, members of the Board of Regents, colleagues, and guests. As always, it is my privilege to address this board and all who have joined today remotely. I'd like to begin my remarks by recognizing and expressing my sincere appreciation for individuals whose service and leadership continue to move the university forward. Each year, we have incredible student regents who offer their time, their attention, and their expertise to this governing board and to their campuses. This year's group is truly exceptional. And I'd like to begin my remarks today by formally thanking Regent Schroeder, Regent Wilkins, Regent Calamari, and Regent Lacey for their work this year and their support of our university. Good luck to each of you as you enter the next chapter of your careers and your lives. I'd also like to take a few minutes to recognize two exceptional leaders whose permanent positions will be formally taken up by the board today. Dr. Tiffany Hang-Moss and Dr. David Jackson have served our university as faculty, as campus leaders, and now as key system leaders. Dr. Jackson began his work at the university 36 years ago. Sorry, David, for counting the numbers. That would be 1989. His journey began with UNL's Department of Food Science and Technology, where he started his career as a serial chemist. In the years since, he has held research, teaching, and extension appointments, and has held a number of leadership roles, including interim head of the Department of Food Science and Technology, associate dean in the Agricultural Research Division, interim provost, and today, pending board approval, our assistant provost and executive vice president. Dr. Hang-Moss began her time with our university 25 years ago in 2001. As an entomologist by training, she too has held research and teaching appointments and has served as associate, interim, and most recently permanent dean of the College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources. And since June 1st, she has served as the interim vice chancellor and vice president for the Institute of Agriculture and Natural Resources. Both of these individuals have cultivated deep relationships across the agriculture and natural resources sectors, including key partnerships with the Ag Builders of Nebraska, Ag 40, Nebraska Cattlemen, and many other important groups supporting the agricultural economy and the future of the ag economy of our state. Last month in Kearney, we celebrated another university leader with the investiture of Dr. Neil Schnorr as Chancellor of the University of Nebraska at Kearney. Since his selection as the Chancellor, Dr. Schnorr has demonstrated an incredible commitment to the Kearney campus, the surrounding community, and the entire region that UNK serves. His investiture represents a truly new era of vibrancy for UNK, one with fresh vision, new opportunities, and broad impact. Chancellor Schnorr, let me once again say congratulations and thank you for your energy, your commitment, and your vision that you bring to this role. I'd also like to extend my thanks to General Rick Evans, who leads the National Strategic Research Institute, which we heard from earlier today, an increasingly important partner in promoting national security. As General Evans shared in his remarks, NSRI is a trusted partner of our military and was recently identified as a preferred contractor, which we can now receive up to $500 million. If you do the math, that's $500 million in new federal contracts over the next decade. This speaks to the quality of NSRI's previous work, to which the faculty from across this university have significantly contributed. Thank you, General Evans, and congratulations on this honor. I would also like to take a few minutes to thank the governor's office and their team, the state legislatures, and their staff. We have worked hard with them through a series of very difficult decisions during this recently ended legislative session. Although we did lose critically important millions of dollars of biomedical research funding that primes the engine for tens of millions of dollars more of sustained federal extramural grants and contracts, we were able to preserve our mainline state biennial budget, which will hopefully be able to restore those funds and other critical aspects of state funding to the university in the upcoming biennial legislative session. Later today, this board will consider major renovations to UNL's Memorial Stadium. Memorial Stadium is, of course, iconic in Nebraska and in all of college athletics. And this project, which we are calling Big Red Rebuild, is ambitious and strategic. The Big Red Rebuild project is a fan-driven, once-in-a-multi-generational investment that modernizes Memorial Stadium while preserving its legacy, ensuring that it remains a premier destination for college athletics and other year-round events, such as tomorrow night's concert. This project also has intended goals to strengthen Nebraska's ability to attract top-flight student athletes, compete at the highest level, and generate even more significant economic impact across the city, the region, and the state. I want to emphasize that the Big Red Rebuild, as it is on the agenda later today, will deliver these long-term benefits without relying on taxpayer or tuition-generated funds, and will serve to better support key aspects of our UNL athletic programs at an increasingly competitive time. The board will also consider other important projects too, including renovations to the Student Activity and Success Center at the Nebraska College of Technical Agriculture in Curtis, the Elephant Hall at Varner Hall at UNL, the Bach Museum and Learning Center at UNO. These are important spaces on our campuses, places where students will or do gather, where learning extends beyond the classroom, and where community is built. Ensuring these spaces remain vibrant and functional is critical to maintaining our shared experiences that define our university. The board will also consider a new project, the Infectious Diseases Air Transport Training Facility, better known as the IDAT, at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. This is the first of its kind in the nation. This completely federally funded facility on the UNMC campus will support specialized training for safety, transporting, and caring for patients with high-consequence infectious disease. It builds upon UNMC's and Nebraska Medicine's national leadership in this area of national security and its long-standing partnership with the United States Department of War and other federal agencies. I know that Colonel Elizabeth Schnabelt is with us today. Colonel, if you don't mind standing, I would like to thank you. Colonel Schnabelt leads the Air Force Sea Stars Omaha program at UNMC, and thank you for your vision in helping to establish the proposed IDAT program, as well as for your service to our nation. Thank you. These facilities are part of who we are, and as well as what we can be as a university. But even the best facilities do not define a university or drive impact. It is the people and the programs behind them that do that. So as I end my remarks, I'd like to provide a few updates on these important campus programs. Earlier this month, Secretary Linda McMahon of the United States Department of Education was here in Lincoln. During her time to our campus visit with Governor Pillen, the governor signed a proclamation celebrating the long-awaited and historic combined accreditation of UNL and UNMC, a major step forward for our university system. All of Nebraska, and even more so for our current and future faculty, staff, and students. This is truly historic and a transformational time. I'd like to take this opportunity to once more thank our regents, our faculty, staff, and students who participated in this process, I'd like to thank the Higher Learning Commission and the United States Department of Education team for their hard work to make this happen, and particularly kudos to Dr. David Jackson for helping to accomplish this transition. At UNMC, there's also a new partnership with the United States Department of Health and Human Services and the United States Department of Education that is expanding nutrition education nationally within our medical curriculum, an important step in preparing future physicians to better address disease prevention and long-term health through evidence-based care. I recently had the honor to travel to our nation's capital to provide the keynote remarks with the two secretaries to announce the implementation of this nationwide project. At that time, the new curriculum was adopted by more than 50 U.S. medical schools and is rapidly expanding across our nation every day. Another important note is that Nebraska Extension and UNMC's Fred and Pamela Buffett Cancer Center are now working together to expand access to cancer screening across the state through the, quote, Break for Breakfast, unquote, initiative, which is taking place this very morning. Communities from Omaha to Kearney to Scottsbluff and North Platte are hosting convenient drive-through events where Nebraskans can receive free resources, education, and encouragement to stay up to date on life-saving cancer screenings. This is, as we all know, particularly relevant in rural and underserved communities. You may also not know that the University of Nebraska Extension, the Nebraska Forest Service, and UNMC's College of Public Health have been instrumental in responding to the recent wildfires that have tragically impacted communities, farms, and ranches throughout Nebraska. Their teams provided and continue to provide critical coordination, trusted information, and on-the-ground support during a very difficult time, working alongside our volunteer fire departments, the National Guard, and many other state and federal partners. We are so proud that the proceeds from the Husker Spring football scrimmage were also directed towards these fire reliefs, reinforcing our commitment to supporting Nebraskans as they recover and rebuild. And then how about our student athletes in the winter and spring sports? It was another remarkable season of both athletic competition and academic success. I had the honor and privilege to cheer on our Husker athletes in Durham, Oklahoma City, and Houston, as well as at Haymarket Park and Baxter Arena. All exciting, memorable games, and all examples of incredible teamwork and leadership. And at the same time, I have also had the privilege of actively serving with a small number of national leaders on the so-called, quote, President's Roundtable to Save College Sports, unquote, a national working group to accelerate the development of policy guardrails in this new area of name, image, and likeness that support college athletics. In a sense, the main purpose is to keep the student portion of being a student athlete balanced and sustainable. And finally, next week, the University of Nebraska, along with the National Council on Competitiveness, which is a leading nonpartisan economic development coalition of top businesses and educational leaders, now celebrating its 40th year of driving U.S. economic prosperity, will host a competitiveness competition convening in Omaha, centered on the bioeconomy. This event will bring together hundreds of national and international leaders from industry, government, and academia to discuss how the United States can accelerate a truly lead position in this sector that is expected to shape the future of food, energy, clothing, construction, medicine, and so much more, that is anticipated to rapidly grow into a $30 trillion, that's with a T, trillion-dollar global market. To get a better sense of why this is such an honor to host this event in Omaha, please join the Honorable Deborah Wynn Smith on this brief video. Thanks.
Well, you know, the council has an interesting origin, and this year is particularly important for us because it's our 40th anniversary as a nonprofit, nonpartisan leadership organization. So with leaders such as yourself as university presidents, we are joined by CEOs from every sector of the economy, with our national laboratory directors and labor leaders as a C-suite organization that are committed to, yes, understanding and elucidating what are the trends and challenges that are shaping the future of America's competitiveness and security and prosperity. But most importantly, what do we do as a private sector leadership organization to work with government at the federal, state, local level, with partners throughout our country to create an action agenda to actually implement and carry forward the policies we need to make our country stronger and robust and more successful for all Americans. So, well, our university system is absolutely a crown jewel in America's competitiveness assets and has really been from the beginning of our universities when we became a nation 250 years ago, and celebrating that this year as well. And the universities really sit at the fulcrum of, yes, developing the new knowledge, technologies, but educating our future citizenry for whatever dimension of work they go into. But very importantly, around competitiveness, our universities are becoming the anchor for what we really define as place-making innovation. Not just place-based, but place-making innovation. These are the places with tremendous talent, with faculty, with students, with all the partnerships with the private sector that are developing these next generation assets for our country and collaborating very, very closely with the governors, with the leaders in their states and across regions as well. So, you know, speaking of Nebraska, not only does the University of Nebraska system sit, you know, at the apex of this in your state, but you have tremendous assets of national importance, certainly in the bioeconomy and manufacturing that we're going to be talking about in a couple of weeks, but also on national security. You've got a leading institution in AI and all of these things, but it's really how the university system writ large acts as the catalyst, the integrator, and really the engine for growth and development in our country. And this is why, in spite of some challenges we're facing on federal funding of R&D and other issues, our universities are still the magnet in the world to attract the best and brightest, but very importantly, to grow our own capacity and to educate more Americans to participate in the innovation economies of the future.
So I hope that many of you will be able to join us at this two-day event in Omaha next week. Regent Clare reminds me, and appropriately so, that our wrestling teams from Kearney and Lincoln also had a spectacular season. And let's just say baseball, softball is not over, and we look forward to the end of that season with success as well. So, in sum, members of the Board of Regents and guests, updates such as these reflect the momentum that we are building every day across the university. It's an ongoing odyssey built upon strong foundations of excellence towards the totally extraordinary future that we vision. At the same time, however, we are well aware of the highly complex and ongoing and ever-changing healthcare and educational landscapes, all of which are replete with both challenges and opportunities on the local, national, and global levels. With the depth of expertise across our campuses, the strength of our partnerships, and our resources, we continue to align around our mission. We continue to shape the university's future in meaningful ways, as well as for Nebraska and beyond. So I thank you again for your time and your leadership and your commitment to our university. And again, I am truly honored, never been more so, to serve alongside our talented leadership team. Regent Kinney, I turn the program back to you, sir.
Thank you, President Gold. Now we'll move to the public comment portion of today's meeting. Standing rules of the board provide that any person or persons may appear and address the Board of Regents on an item that is not on the agenda. If individuals provide the corporate secretary with at least 24 hours notice. Standing rules also provide that anyone desiring to speak concerning any item on the agenda for the meeting, regardless of notice, may do so by indicating via sign-in sheet that they would like to address the board on the topic of today's agenda. Each individual will have 3 minutes to address the board. We will go through the individuals that provided us advance notice of their desire to speak, followed by those who have signed in on site. So I believe Jessica is the first one. Yep. Jessica?
Thank you for this opportunity to speak to you today. My name is Jessica Neiman, and I am the director of the Physical Therapist Assistant Program at Clarkson College. Clarkson College is a hospital-affiliated, private, nonprofit higher education institution solely incorporated with Nebraska Medicine. I have been a licensed physical therapist assistant for 26 years, working in both inpatient and outpatient care. I previously served as the education coordinator at Creighton University Medical Center, and for the past 11 years, I have served as a faculty member and administrator at Clarkson College. I am an active member of the American Physical Therapy Association and its corresponding Nebraska chapter. I grew up in Grant, Nebraska, and remain committed to supporting access to high-quality health care in rural communities. As the PTA program director, I work to meet this need by offering a hybrid program option that allows students in rural areas to remain in their hometowns while earning their degree, with the goal of strengthening the physical therapy workforce across the state. Throughout my career, I have learned the importance of being part of an institution that genuinely lives its mission and values. At Clarkson College, our values shape our culture, guide our decision-making, and are embedded in the ways we educate students and serve our communities. Clarkson's tagline, "Prepare to be the best," originated from community and healthcare provider surveys identifying our graduates as the best. I have seen this firsthand in both clinical practice and education. Our PTA program has had 8 students receive the APTA Mary McMillan Scholarship Award, which is the highest national honor for physical therapy students. And we have 2 PTA graduates who now serve as CEOs at health systems in central Nebraska. And a recent graduate survey comment stated, "Clarkson College is a hidden gem. Anyone who has been a part of it has loved it." My job as an institutional leader and healthcare professional is to protect the academic mission of Clarkson College and advocate for and support the thousands of students, learners, alumni, faculty, and staff we serve. I am here today to share with you that our institution is one of the addresses listed in the resolution approving the acquisition of CRHS assets, which leaves many questions remaining as to how a purchase of land and buildings will affect the teaching and clinical experiences for Clarkson College students and faculty. As a CAPTE-accredited institution, we are required to ensure graduates meet rigorous national standards. The PTA program at Clarkson College is the largest program in the state, and since 1994 has served hundreds of students both in traditional and transfer pathways. Our students and alumni learn and serve their communities across 73 of Nebraska's 94 counties. We maintain over 250 clinical contracts, and our college campus offers an immersive learning environment to support student success. Thank you for your consideration in protecting healthcare, education, and workforce pipeline across our state.
Thank you, Jessica. Dr. Aaron Hacker.
All right, good morning. My name is Erin Hacker. I can't say that I'm an associate professor in the Department of Earth and Atmospheric Sciences because according to the UNL administration, that unit ceased to exist December 5th for the sake of an expected savings of less than $2 million, I will remind you. What does it mean to be in a non-existent department? Chaos. Our chair took part in the Voluntary Retirement Incentive Program, or VSIP. He will retire in less than a month, and nobody knows who the new chair will be. Will there be a new chair? Maybe not, because there's no department. So who will handle all the things a department chair normally handles? Nobody knows. There was no plan when the vote was taken to close the department. There is still no plan. It's still a problem. It all hasn't just gone away. It's just not your problem. I hope that you aren't satisfied with that, because if you are, then that is not leadership. None of the phase-out is actually part of anyone's job, which is incredibly frustrating for the people left to clean up the mess, like staff, students, members of the college. It is also incredibly frustrating and frightening for students. EAS has had a job placement rate for graduates in their field of study of 95%. Now they don't even know who will teach mineralogy next year. Our 22 freshman meteorology majors have been left without any alternative atmospheric science program in the state of Nebraska. Geology and meteorology majors were assured, just as you were assured, that they would have a path to graduation. But the training requirements for most jobs in these fields are extremely strict. People outside the discipline may see no problem telling meteorology majors to, say, take thermodynamics in the physics department rather than in a meteorology program, but that can genuinely render their degree useless for getting a career in their field. EAS has been granted almost zero self-determination in any of the decisions about curriculum, apportionment of responsibility, or allocation of resources to wind down the program. The vote to close EAS also included the provision that the minors in meteorology and geology would be retained. Last month, we received word that those minors are being discontinued. Proposals for rehoming the minors will supposedly be forthcoming in September of 2027. Nobody knows where these minors will be housed, let alone what the curriculum will look like, but this is somewhat moot because nobody knows what the point of having a meteorology or geology minor is. All of this was done from the top down, which wastes everyone's time, apparently for the sake of optics. Meanwhile, the budgetary savings is unclear. As you know, the VSIP yielded an unexpectedly high number of retirements. Revenue was entirely ignored in the program cuts because the administration argued that it would be too hard to consider. The cuts themselves fit within the university's proactive reductions, and so were, according to the administration, not necessary to close the structural budget deficit. It feels like a lot of pain for not a lot of point. I always tell my students that feedback is a gift. Most of the faculty are either too afraid for their own jobs or too pessimistic to bother talking to you. My hope in being here is that if and when budget reductions come around again, that you'll actually listen to the people who your decisions will affect. If the goal with these program cuts was to close the structural deficit, meh. If the goal was to create chaos,
Thank you for your
confusion, and
comments.
distress,
Your time is up.
mission accomplished.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. Dan Wingert?
Thank you. All right. My name is Dan Wingert. I live in Omaha, but my wife would say that I actually live in an RV in the mat lot in the fall during football games. Pardon the outfit, but there's a point. The hat and coat were my grandfather's. He was a UNMC graduate, and after he returned from World War II, the first thing he did was purchase tickets in 1946 in a way to bring back some normalcy. My father followed in his footsteps for the next 3 generations, and I'm funding a NEST program in the hopes that my grandchildren will be generation number 5. For more than 7 decades, we have sat with the Colsons in the same 8 seats of Section 29, and we have grown together, and that area is family. And for the record, each family has made annual ticket donations since the 80s. We are not grandfathered non-payers. I support the stadium rebuild. However, I must respectfully request a full financial accounting of the contribution expectations that the rebuild will certainly require before approval. Your report says that the funding will come in part from $250 million in philanthropic support, nearly 1/3 of the budget total. This euphemism translates to significant ticket holder revenue increases. How will that work? Will South Stadium fans with higher donor points bump out other people and that's demolished? We have none of these details. Is the donation requirement going for the newly premium zone in the west section $15,000 a ticket, 20, 25, more? If I'm off the mark, please correct me, but the problem is we don't know. You're asking to approve a project and those details are important. I'm told, well, you can move. But after 7 decades, it is not the same. Our section is family, and that makes a difference. The stadium isn't the only rebuild that's going to take time. We want to be here for it and watch it happen in our seats we've had for 70-some years. If I have to choose between funding my grandchildren's education or football, it's not a difficult decision. I've been married 40 years. I want to be married 41. As your constituent, I plead with you. Provide the details now, section by section and row by row. It's another few weeks, so much to ask. The modeling scenarios exist. We have a fine athletic department. I guarantee you they know what it is. Just don't want to release it right now. The full and immediate disclosure of all the donor requirements before this is approved is the fiscally responsible thing to do. And more importantly, it's the right thing to do for the Nebraska fans such as ourselves and others who've earned the right for that
Thank you
information.
for your comments.
Thank you, Dan.
Go Big Red.
Thank you, Dan. Nate, are you here?
Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Nate Wiggin. I am the Vice President of College Finance and CFO at Clarkson College. Clarkson College is a hospital-affiliated private nonprofit higher education institution solely incorporated with Nebraska Medicine. Personally, I'm a licensed CPA, having served in both the public and private sector roles, and am a native Nebraskan, having grown up in Grand Island and receiving my bachelor's degree at University of Nebraska at Kearney. Higher education holds a special place in my heart with the power to upskill and unlock potential for students. That role is even more critical in healthcare, where Clarkson College prepares our next generation of healthcare providers, educators, and supporting roles to serve our communities. My job as CFO is to protect the financial health and stability of Clarkson College and to advocate for and support the thousands of students, learners, alumni, faculty, and staff that we serve. I am here today to share with you that our institution is one of the addresses listed in the resolution, which places Clarkson College in an uncertain position. Specifically, it is unclear which properties would be operated by the Board of Regents and which would be operated by Nebraska Medicine. Upon transaction completion, public documents also do not outline future intentions for specific properties. Clarkson College is the largest hospital-affiliated college in the state and sixth largest private nonprofit institution. Clarkson College serves many non-traditional age students with an average age of enrollment of 26, which supports many second career, transfer students, and working families, providing additional educational choice. Of the more than 1,200 degree-seeking students that we serve annually, 80% are from across the state of Nebraska, keeping educational opportunities available in our home communities, as well as creating a brain gain and attracting students to the region. We also educate more than 6,500 community learners each year. Access for these learners depends on the physical location of our campus, where they have the opportunity to complete coursework, testing, skills, and work in foundational healthcare roles. Unfortunately, the public materials described in the resolution do not provide any clear indication as to what could happen to the land and buildings connected to Clarkson College, which is also a potential institutional risk to the sustainability of the critical services that we provide across the state. Thank you for your time and your support in further sustaining the mission of Clarkson College to prepare the best in healthcare. Thanks.
Thank you. Regina Weaver.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you. I'm Dr. Regina Weaver. I'm a UNL faculty member, and here in that capacity, I'm just disappointed. So let me talk about the big red rebuild, because what I want here for you to see is my wish list for the next Board of Regents. May our future Board of Regents understand that public education is not a business. It is a common good. Like the NSRI, the system has no profit motive. Understand that public partnerships, public-private partnerships, while hugely desirable, cannot be a one-way street. So with the big red rebuild, with all the private funding being raised for it, going towards athletics, while core academic functions are operating under an ever-shrinking shoestring budget, you are today voting on the use of UNL and NU personnel during the construction and design of this rebuild. That is taxpayer-funded state employees. No, I hope you know how to balance a checkbook, including costs, losses, and revenues. Know how to spot holes in creative accounting using magic wands like private donors, leveraged debt, and monetized real estate. Value professional ethics more than you value PR stunts, partisan politics, and your own re-elections. Discern AI-generated horse manure. Think, speak, and vote for yourselves, remembering that you represent all Nebraskans and especially the young ones. Understand that a public university requires sustained public support to deliver a 10-to-1 return on investments. Understand that we're not just a land grant, but a comprehensive university, and UNL's impact on the mission is unique. Understand that higher education is not about training people for an ever-changing job market. Our role is to reduce barriers to social mobility. That requires hard-to-teach soft skills our employers are looking for. Understand in higher education, our role is to remove barriers to civic education and civic engagement. For that, we need unimpinged humanities and social sciences rather than patriotic claptrap. Respect the faculty's professional expertise. You do your job, we do ours. And understand that it's not the job of faculty to lobby for the university. That is the president's job and your job as elected officials. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else like to testify? Being that no other persons are wishing to comment, I now declare the opportunity for public comment closed. I understand, Regent Schaefer, you have a motion?
I move that the Board of Regents go into a closed session as authorized by Section 84-1410 of the revised statutes of the state of Nebraska for the protection of the public interest and to prevent needless injury to the reputation of persons who have not requested a public hearing for the purpose of holding a discussion limited to the following subject: personnel matters involving members of the university staff and strategy sessions with respect to certain real estate purchases.
Second.
Made and second. Roll call vote, please.
Regent Wilkins?
Yes.
Regent Schroeder?
Yes.
Regent Lacey?
Yes.
Regent Calamari?
Yes.
Regent Makavicka?
Yes.
Regent Schaefer?
Yes.
Regent Shearer?
Yes.
Regent Stark?
Yes.
Regent Whites?
Yes.
Regent Wilmot?
Yes.
Regent Clare? Regent Kenny?
Yes.
Motion passes.
It's now 12:22, so we're back in session. It's now time to consider the consent agenda. Consent agenda is indicated by its name and moved and voted on by a group of action items and opposed to the administrative agenda that are considered and discussed individually. That said, unless my colleagues on the board wish to consider these items in the administrative agenda separately, I would invite a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion been made, second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Regent Schroeder?
Yes.
Regent Lacey?
Yes.
Regent Calamari?
Yes.
Regent Wilkins?
Yes.
Regent Schaefer?
Yes.
Regent Shearer?
Yes.
Regent Stark?
Yes.
Regent Whites?
Yes.
Regent Wilmot? Regent Clare? Regent Kenny? Regent Makavicka?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Regent Shearer, I believe you have a statement for the record.
Yes, I'm not exactly sure why this is the appropriate time to do so, but I'm going to do what I'm told, and I'm going to read what I presented. So, off the top of my head, in my capacity as chair of the Audit, Risk, and Compliance Committee meeting on February 5th, 2026, I would ask that the minutes for today's meeting reflect that the Audit Committee has carried out its responsibilities outlined in paragraph 27 of the Audit Committee Charter. That's it.
Thank you. So noted. Thank you, Regent Shearer.
Well read.
It's recorded. You've had practice at those things.
So is there a motion to approve 11A1? Honorary degrees?
So moved. Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Regent Lacey?
Yes.
Regent Calamari?
Yes.
Regent Wilkins?
Yes.
Regent Schroeder?
Yes.
Regent Shearer?
Yes.
Regent Stark?
Yes.
Regent Whites?
Yes.
Regent Wilmot? Yes. Regent Clare? Regent Kenny?
Yes.
Regent Makavicka?
Yes.
Regent Schaefer?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. I'd ask President Gold to walk us through the remaining items on the administrative agenda.
Thank you, Regent Kenny. As we have previously done, we will outline each of the items from the University of Nebraska Kearney campus separately, and the board will be asked to vote on them together. If any regent wishes to extract any matter herein and have that considered and voted on separately, they certainly may make a motion to do so. So the first of these at UNK is item 11A2, that seeks your approval today to eliminate the Bachelor of Arts in Modern Languages with a German emphasis. This program is proposed for discontinuation due to low enrollment over several years and analysis of long-term viability. Similar programs are offered in the NU system for students interested in studying the German language. There is one current student who will be able to complete the degree. This item was extensively reviewed and recommended by the Academic Affairs Committee, and I present it to you for your consideration. Item 11A3 seeks your approval to eliminate the Bachelor of Arts in Education and Modern Languages, grades 7 through 12, in the German teaching endorsement, administered by the Department of Modern Languages in the College of Arts and Sciences at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. This program is proposed for discontinuation, again due to low enrollment over several years and analysis of long-term viability. The German language programs are offered in the NU system for students interested in studying German language. There is one current student who will be able to complete this degree. This item as well was extensively reviewed, discussed, and recommended by the Academic Affairs Committee, and I also present it to you today for your consideration. Item 11A4 seeks your approval to eliminate the Master of Science Education degree in Higher Education Student Affairs in the Department of Counseling in the School of Psychology and Family Science in the College of Education at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. The proposal to eliminate the MS Education degree in Higher Education Student Affairs follows an extensive review that found that the program did not meet a majority evaluation criteria, including declining enrollment, workforce demand, and financial stability. The external review panel recommended discontinuing the degree and developing degree completion pathways for enrolled students. Some of the classes will be offered by UNK, and other requirements will be supplemented with UNO online courses. One tenure-track faculty line will be eliminated, contributing to UNK's overall financial long-term stability. The system-wide Faculty Executive Graduate Council voted in support of the elimination of this program on March 2nd, 2026. This item was extensively reviewed and recommended by the Academic Affairs Committee, and I present it to you today for your consideration. The next item is item 11A5 that seeks your approval to eliminate the Bachelor of Music, Music Comprehensive, Music Business emphasis administered by the Department of Music, Theater, and Dance in the College of Arts and Sciences at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. The proposal to eliminate the Music Business emphasis of the Bachelor of Music, Music Comprehensive degree is due to low enrollment and graduation numbers over the last several years. Again, a similar program is offered at UNO for students interested in this area. There are two current students who will be able to complete the program. The deletion will eliminate one tenure-track faculty line, again contributing to UNK's broader financial stability. This item as well was extensively reviewed and recommended by the Academic Affairs Committee, and I present it to you for your consideration. Regent Kenny.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve 11A2, 11A3, 11A4, and 11A5?
I have to divide the question. I would like to divide out 11A4.
Need a second for that?
Is there a second?
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. So therefore, the motion is to approve 11A2, 11A3, and 11A5. Is that correct?
Vote on the 11A4 first. Okay. Okay. Go back to the original motion. Is there one for that?
Yeah.
Second. Okay. Comments on that?
For clarification, 11A2, 11A3, and 11A5. 11A4 has been separated.
Okay.
I guess, can I speak really quick? Okay. I would just try to put you on the spot, Chancellor Schnorr, but I just want to extend my speaking rights to you to kind of walk through the process you and your campus underwent to kind of make these recommendations.
Sure. Thank you, Regent Lizzie. I appreciate that. Our campus, as you know, is facing the same fiscal realities as others, and our $4.5 million in reductions were proportional to those that UNL had to make. We did not take any decision lightly. What I appreciate about our campus is we followed our shared governance processes. So I'm speaking more of the reductions now, and I'm going to give Senior Vice Chancellor Schaefer a chance to talk about the one that's been separated a little bit more. It was really important that we made recommendations working very closely with deans and chairs and faculty. The Faculty Advisory Committee met and took that role very seriously, called people in, did interviews, asked for more data, where's the projections of these programs going, and then once I finalized these and I held a public forum on campus that we could explain all of what was going on, and then followed that up with some sessions just open that people could come in and express. So in the end, I think it's our shared governance process and the engagement of our faculty and staff committees that made this all effective. I would like Dr. Schaefer to talk just a little bit more about the master's program, if you would.
Well, if you're going to address 11A4, we have a motion unduly seconded before the board. On the others, it would be best to vote on that and then come back with a motion to either to move ahead with 11A4 and then open that to discussion.
Very good. Thank you, President Gold.
I'm currently the chair of academic affairs, and Provost Jackson and I have had conversations because we take these things very seriously. And one thing we're going to be looking at this year is advisement for these students whose dreams and coursework seem to have to change because of these decisions. And I think looking at how hard we are going to work with those students to make sure that they get the kind of advisement they need. And David, I don't know if you want to say anything, but.
The only thing I'd like to add is that just reaffirming our commitment to every student in these programs that pathways are provided for them to complete their degrees. That's a requirement under our accreditation, and we are fully committed to doing so.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Regent Calamari? Regent Wilkins?
Yes.
Regent Schroeder?
Yes.
Regent Lacey?
Yes.
Regent Stark?
Yes.
Regent Whites?
Yes.
Regent Wilmot?
Yes.
Regent Clare? Regent Kenny? Regent Makovica?
Yes.
Regent Schaefer?
Yes.
Regent Shear?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, we have 11A4 pulled off. We need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Approve what?
A4. We pulled it separately.
She moved to pull it off. Now we're moving to forward it. Yes.
If there's a motion.
Yeah.
Motion, now we need a second.
Second.
Okay.
Any discussion?
Okay.
Kathy?
Well, I already brought this up in academic committee, and I was kind of told that that's an area that regents just don't get into, but my concern is some of the changes that are occurring that I've been told, and I need to visit with Dr. Schnorr about, but at this point, I don't feel comfortable supporting it.
Any other comments?
So this is for my ease, I guess I'd say.
Give Neil a chance.
Did we want to?
Dr. Gold, our comment on this, so we've made some adjustments in our family science program, which is going to be online. This is a different degree from that. This is a degree that has seen declines. It is essentially a higher ed administration degree. It so closely duplicates our successful graduate counseling program. But the numbers have diminished. Mainly, the students that have taken this particular degree are administrators. It's been successful in that across our system. Many have this degree, but the declining enrollments make it financially difficult for us to continue this.
I should have been more complete. I think it's something I want to visit with you about outside of here.
Always happy to, Regent
Okay,
Wilmot.
thank you.
Anyone else? Vote, please.
Regent Wilkins?
Yes.
Regent Schroeder?
Yes.
Regent Lacey?
Yes.
Regent Calamari?
Yes.
Regent Whites?
Yes.
Regent Wilmot?
No.
Regent Clare? Regent Kenny?
Yes.
Regent Makovica? Regent Schaefer?
Yes.
Regent Shear?
Yes.
Regent Stark?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Now moving on to UNMC. Item 11A6 seeks your approval to establish the Research Center for Developmental Toxicology and Pharmacology, better known as the RCDTOP. If you can say that, you're better than I am. To be administered by the Department of Pharmacology and Experimental Neuroscience in the College of Medicine at UNMC. The proposed Research Center for Developmental Toxicology and Pharmacology represents a strategically important initiative with a mission, and I quote, to advance knowledge, diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of pharmacologic agents or environmental toxins that influence fetal or early postnatal development deficits through innovative collaborations and interdisciplinary approaches for cutting-edge research and premier educational programs, unquote. The proposed center will bring together faculty expertise across the colleges of medicine, pharmacy, public health, Child Health Research Institutes, and the Monroe Meyer Institute, and is well positioned to advance innovative collaborative research and educational opportunities. There is committed support for the first 2 years, and faculty with a strong history of obtaining extramural funding to support their work. No additional resources are needed at this time to establish the center or to sustain it. This item, again, was extensively reviewed and recommended by the Academic Affairs Committee, and I present it to you today for your consideration.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve 11A6?
So move.
Second. Motion's been made in second. Any comments?
Having spent a lot of time in pediatrics for 15 years, this is a huge program. Very, very supportive of it. I saw it in action for many years. We were the National Poison Center Controls, and toxicology is important, along with our Pharm D guys. So, huge supporter of this.
Jack, anyone else? Please.
Regent Schroeder?
Yes.
Regent Lacey?
Yes.
Regent Calamari?
Yes.
Regent Wilkins?
Yes.
Regent Wilmot?
Yes.
Regent Clare? Regent Kenny? Regent Makovica? Regent Schaefer?
Yes.
Regent Shear?
Yes.
Regent Stark?
Yes.
Regent Whites?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to the UNO Academic Affairs items. As we have previously done, I will once more outline each of the items from UNO separately, and the board will be asked to vote on them together. And again, if any regent wishes to extract any matter herein and have that considered and voted on separately, as we just did, they will make a motion to do so, please. Item 11A7 seeks your approval to establish the Bachelor of Science in Professional Training and Development administered by the Division of Continuing Studies in the College of Public Affairs and Community Service at UNO. The proposed Bachelor of Science in Professional Training and Development, better known as the BSTD, responds to workforce needs in Nebraska and across the nation. This directly addresses the need for preparing students, especially adult and contemporary learners, to lead organizational learning, talent development, and professional training initiatives. The curriculum aligns with the Association for Talent Development capability model, ensuring that graduates gain industry-recognized competencies in instructional design, adult learning, organizational development, communication, and workforce strategy. Designed for flexibility, the program offers online and hybrid pathways, maximizing access for working adults, military-connected learners, and those living outside of the Omaha metropolitan area. The next item is 11A8 that seeks your approval to establish a Doctor of Social Work, or DSW, degree administered by the internationally regarded Grace Abbott School of Social Work in the College of Public Affairs and Community Service at UNO. Despite a growing demand for doctoral-level social work leaders, Nebraska currently has not a single PhD or DSW program requiring students to relocate and pay out-of-state tuition to receive this educational advantage. The proposed DSW program addresses this gap by providing a fully online 3-year practitioner scholar degree tailored for professionals seeking advanced practice, leadership, and research skills without leaving the state. Students will benefit from the integration into UNO's existing extensive community partnerships. The program responds to Nebraska's workforce needs, particularly in behavioral health and social services, and provides an accessible, affordable, and locally available pathway to the highest level of professional social work education, utilizing existing infrastructure and resources. The next item is 11A9 that seeks your approval to transition the Bachelor of Science degrees in Special Education, elementary and secondary, to the Bachelor of Science in Special Education, administered by the Department of Special Education and Communication Disorders in the College of Education, Health Sciences, and Human Services at the University of Nebraska at Omaha campus. To align with changes made in the Nebraska Department of Education, the Department of Special Ed and Communication Disorders is updating its current majors and endorsements. This request is to transition the current programs in special education into one program, allowing graduates to receive a K-12 endorsement rather than a K-6 or a 7 to 12 endorsement. To accomplish this change, the Bachelor of Science in Secondary Special Education will therefore be discontinued, and the elementary special education major will be renamed to Special Education with a K-12 endorsement. These changes will now match the NDE certification and prepare future teachers for any grade level. Again, these items were extensively reviewed and recommended by the Academic Affairs Committee, and again, I present them to you today for your consideration. Regent Kenny.
Thank you, President Gold. Is there a motion to approve 11A7,
So moved.
Second.
11A8, and 11A9? That still go?
So moved.
Any comments? Roll call.
Regent Lysy.
Yes.
Regent Calamari.
Yes.
Regent Wilkins.
Yes.
Regent Schroeder.
Yes.
Regent Clare.
Yes.
Regent Kenny. Regent Makovica. Regent Schaefer.
Yes.
Regent Shear.
Yes.
Regent Stark.
Yes.
Regent Whites.
Proudly, yes.
Regent Wilmot.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Just to comment that this DSW degree is a really big deal, and it will serve Nebraska extremely well long-term. And kudos to the UNO team for pulling this together. Okay, we now move to the business and finance component of the agenda, and the first item is 11B1, which seeks your approval of the revised program statement for the Big Red Rebuild Memorial Stadium project, to approve the use of university personnel in construction and design of the project, and to approve IDR number 2. Since the approval of the initial program statement in the fall of 2023, the Memorial Stadium renovation project was paused to review, and a detailed feasibility study was completed. The revised Memorial Stadium project program statement reflects updated athletic department priorities and a vision for Memorial Stadium that has generated the revised program statement. Intermediate Design Services number 1, involving the expenditure of funds up to $48,500,000, was approved at an earlier board meeting as part of the first stage under the original program statement and were submitted to the Board of Regents Business and Finance Committee. IDR 1 was acted on by this board on December 5th, 2025. To maintain the desired schedule expenditure of funds up to $175 million is now being requested upon approval of IDR 2 as part of the second stage of the project. These funds are needed to complete steel procurement, demolition, and temporary conditions, ordering long lead line items and construction. Again, this item was extensively reviewed and by both Academic Affairs and Business and Finance. It is recommended to you by both committees, and I present it to you today for your consideration.
Thank you, President Gold. Is there a motion to approve 11B1?
So move.
Second?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion?
There's some down there.
Well, I just think the public reads a lot of things, but I think it's important to at least establish what we're trying to accomplish here. Memorial Stadium is a very old facility. It's been updated and remodeled on occasion. But if you get a behind-the-scenes tour of it, you'll find out that they hire a individual to go around and turn on all the lights before any activity, because it takes about an hour and a half for that person to truly go run around the building and turn on the lights just so that they can have an activity. It's the wiring, the plumbing. We did a nice job of making it look better. We just didn't do a nice job of making sure that the bones of the facility stayed up to date, and they're far outdated. And when we first heard about this with the previous athletic director, there was a lot more cosmetic involved, and it was going to be a little more expensive, and I think we all sort of balked a little bit about the cost at that point in time. This is less expensive than it was proposed 4 or 5 years ago. But I think it's important to say that when we were looking at it 5 years ago, we didn't know there's going to be probably $200 million worth of renovations that no one's ever going to see or understand, but they were needed to be done just for the facility to be actually used. And we can't, it's one of those deals where we continue to kick a can down the street and assume that somebody else is going to pick it up. It's time to pick it up and fix it, and I'm supportive of what it's done. The athletic department has shown its ability to build and maintain facilities under its current leadership, and I suspect that this will be done on time, on budget, with as least disruption as possible.
I'd agree with Regent Shear's comments. The safety of our guests at Memorial Stadium should be paramount, just like the safety of our students here is our #1 priority while they're on campus. But it wasn't all that long ago, 25, 30 years ago, a portion of the upper balcony of East Stadium fell. Concrete, steel, and everything. And if that would have happened on a home football Saturday with a packed stadium, I can't imagine how many people would have potentially lost their lives, been dismembered, or somehow affected for the rest of their lives. And not to mention the liability that would have came along with that. So, there's two pains in life, the pain of commitment and the pain of regret. And I sure as heck wouldn't want to be living through the pain of regret if we had a repeat of that and somebody was injured or worse yet, was killed in some type of accident. So I think it really is important that we do maintain our facilities. It is a state treasure. That and the Capitol are two of the most well-known buildings in the state of Nebraska, and so it's paramount upon us to make sure we maintain them properly. I'd also like to say that, there's never a good time to go to market and to build, whether it's building your home for your family, the best, probably most affordable way to do it, or the best way to save the money and do it at a price that can be done where everybody can budget for it is today, because I'm pretty certain that the project that we're looking at today will cost us less money if we do it today than if we punt and kick the can down the road another 5 years. I think if that's the case, you can probably go ahead and add another 25 to 35% to the overall cost.
Anyone else? Dan, would you like to make a statement? Have any questions for him? Yeah.
As a comment.
I'd just like to begin by saying I appreciate all the work done by the athletic department and others across the university system to bring this proposal to the table. However, I do have real concerns that prevent me from being a yes vote on the Big Red rebuild. In past years and decades, the main focus of renovations and updates to Memorial Stadium has been expansion, giving more devout Husker fans the opportunity to join in Nebraska's most popular pastime. From the original 31,000 seat structure to the peak of 87,000, we nearly tripled the number of spectators that could come watch a game. This focus, I believe, fits incredibly well with the fact that nearly everyone in Nebraska is a diehard fan that loves the Memorial Stadium atmosphere. Even those non-natives, such as myself, eventually find themselves drawn into it, despite the fact that it took me 8 years to see a winning season. Consider we have an NFL stadium level capacity and a sellout streak that we tout at every single game. Consider our culture of respect for longtime fans, shouting out the wholesome old couples who have been going to games for decades together in the same seats since before they even got married. And consider the fact that in our current setup, we may have small town farmers with season tickets next to their U.S. congressmen. There's something uniquely Nebraskan about the current experience at Memorial Stadium, and that all stems from that focus on making the stadium open for as many people as possible, regardless of whether they are new fans or old fans, have season suites, or save up to get bench seats once a year. This project will be an inflection point. For the first time, we are substantially reducing capacity. We're also boosting revenues at the same time by 40% to cover for the debt financing. Nebraska is actually the tail end of the curve here. We've held on to our old school sports stadium feel when basically no one else is left in college football. The NFL, other colleges, they've all honed in on providing a premium game day experience that elevates the fans. What does this actually mean? That focus is shifting from being accessible to the most fans possible to maximizing the revenue per fan. We'll give attendees, seatbacks, and cup holders, the so-called super fans, not in the traditional sense, but in the super wealthy meaning, will be able to enjoy the game from swank clubs with great food and not a thought of sitting on a cold metal bench. But where are the old couples who have been coming since the 1970s? They've been reseated, and they are struggling to walk up to the nosebleeds. Do I think this rebuild will instantly gentrify the stadium? No. But it puts us on a trajectory to do so. In the future, we will inevitably overhaul the north and east sides of the stadium, bringing better amenities and luxury seating to their sections, further bringing down capacity. And what will a decent ticket cost then? What corners of the stadium will still be donation-free season tickets? This project has been billed as a generational improvement, but I asked the rest of the board to consider, picture in your mind, Memorial Stadium 20 years from now. Who is benefiting from the new premium experience? Is it the average Nebraskan? The average rabid Husker fan? The pilgrims who make their long journey from Scottsbluff or Chadron to watch their team? If it isn't them, if it isn't the alumni and the students sticking through even the best 3-9 college football team in the country that come to mind, then I recommend that we table this proposal and instead focus on completing the necessary ADA and structural improvements as a separate proposal in the future. That being said, I move to table this proposal.
Second. Any other comments?
I'd like to make a comment. I first would like to say that I agree with everything that's kind of been said so far. I think that there are real valid concerns that do need to be addressed moving forward. Ticket pricing, restructure, what all that's going to look like. I am a yes vote on this. I think anyone can see that, there is deferred maintenance that needs to happen. There is ADA compliance stuff that needs to happen. It's gone way too long without that. I'm never going to be able to tell you what it's like to play. That's a question for Regent Makovica, but because that's his strong suit, not mine. But as a fan who was quote unquote, and I don't agree with this term that Regent Calamari used, was a pilgrim from out western side of the state. I don't agree with that statement at all. As being from the western side of the state, I remember at least once a year, my family, we would get together in the car and we'd drive down 180, the 5-hour, long drive plus from little old Bridgeport, Nebraska, and we'd watch ourselves a football game. And that's what the true fan experience was. And I remember walking in and just seeing a sea of red, and this year, one day was a sea of black, and that was awesome. And the reason I am a yes vote is because I want that same experience to happen for the kids who, get to grow up in this new empire of, Nebraska athletics. So I am a yes vote.
I'd like to make a comment. I have to admit, with much of what Brock just said, and I know I've had a lot of feedback from people. Some of the comments have been, we fear this is going to become an event for the rich. and that the common man isn't going to be able to afford to come. And they're basing that, I think, a lot on some of the other changes that's happened in some of the other sports. However, I also know that much of what Regent Shear stated is also accurate. We have to think about the older individuals, the disabled individuals, the structural condition of the facility. So in the bottom, I will vote yes, but I'm going to tell you it's a torn yes, and I know that doesn't make a hoot of difference in the end when you do the final vote, but I would ask that the decision makers think very carefully about what they're doing with ticket prices, with the seats, how the privileged people are going to get a better choice. And of course, you can always say, oh, they can go to the bank and borrow the money and buy the seat they want. No, that's not really true. And then when you think about what you just stated about families that finally gather up the kids off of the farm and think about farms this year, we're dirt poor out there and we're in trouble. And that's where you get your money, a lot of it. And it's going to be really tough for families to really be able to come and enjoy this in the future if we start making this something that you buy because you're privileged. So that's my caution. Again, thank you for the comments you brought forward, because I agree wholeheartedly.
Regent Schaefer brought up the fact that we had a section collapsed. I sat underneath that section, and it scared the bejesus out of me. Crushed an entire temporary bleachers there. I would say that, when we were winning national championships, we increased to the number of students attending this university by 2 to 3%, which translated into $20 million or $30 million. We have, hundreds of students who pay tuition, and I would hate to see our program decline. So I'm a supporter of it. I have confidence that our athletic director can work with the philanthropic community. I've talked to those people, and they're supportive, but they want to see us commit. They want to see us say, we're back at it, we'll do it, and then they're saying we will step forward and help pay for some of this. So that's my comment, so I'll be supporting it.
Well, just a little rebuttal to Brock. This is not just to improve the ultra-wealthy person's game. There's some really basic stuff that we're trying to do. And I think you're a little lack in providing that side of the story as well. When you look at the south end zone, and I have sat in row 73 in the south end zone during a game, and that's the place where the guys, the vendors with the water ball gets to about row 54, and those with hot dogs get to about row 32. And if you have to go to the bathroom, you might want to wear Depends, because you would be going up and down, and it would take about 6 hours to facilitate that. And when you get out after the game, you've got one exit, and it's like you want to go to a stockyard. It's worse than a stockyard, because everybody's trying to get down one central level deal. And if you consider that a game atmosphere, we're lucky we got anybody to come and buy those tickets. And so, yeah, there's some niceties that are going on, and it's going to make it look nicer, absolutely. Will it cost more? Everything costs more. I mean, let's face it. We'd like to keep tuition the same every year, but our costs are not the same every year. I'd love to have the legislature, kick in another 25%, but that's not going to happen probably either. But this is a beloved institution, a facility in the state of Nebraska. It provides entertainment, and it's a calling card. And if we want to encourage people to come to Nebraska to go to school or to work or to play, that's one of the things that will bring them. So I'm obviously a yes, but there's things that are going on, but there's also a lot of necessity. And yes, those older people that may get in the row 42, at least now they're going to have a way to get up there without having to go up 186 steps. And that goes for both the east and the west as well. Most of those are all walking. The north, all walking. We're going to provide facilities that will get those people up to those areas without having to do 6,000 steps on a Saturday afternoon. And especially if you want to talk about experience, go to an 8 o'clock at night game and then start walking down about 11:30 when the game's over with and you can't see your foot in front of yourself. That's like snow, driving a car in a blizzard. It's not a pleasant experience. And then put that person being my age in the 70s trying to make it down. Wouldn't try it now. It has been ignored for a period of time, and it is time to do some of the necessary things, and those are part of those necessary things. And unfortunately, they all cost money. So,
Libby?
Oh, sorry.
I just want to say, I think the athletic department has, from the student perspective, been really thoughtful about what the student experience is going to look like on game days. And so I'm excited for what that is going to look like, moving students over. And I appreciate that was one of the things that they looked into and wanted to ensure was good for the students.
Joel?
This is near and dear to my heart, and I've thought about this long and hard, and I think the university has standards, and we need to maintain those standards, and standards in our athletic department, and standards for this football team, and we need to hold them to that. But we also need to have standards for our fans, and what that means to me is we provide a venue for them to be able to take pride in, and it is, like Jim said it, or Rob said, it's a historic venue in this state, and we have failed to keep it up, and there's a lot of maintenance we have to do on it. So it's for me, it's a standard, and this is a driver, like Jack said, athletics is a driver of the university, and we can increase enrollment, and it's the front porch of universities. And I love that we're not using taxpayer funds, and the athletic department is doing it. And like I said, it's all about giving the fans an opportunity to come to a venue that they love to come to. It's accessible. We make it ADA accessible, and hopefully it turns into the economic engine that we want it to turn into.
Regent McAvick, I want to refer to a conversation that we had recently. My family considers me sort of a sponge for anxiety. I often go to the worst scenarios when people talk about something. And we talked about what would happen if there was some kind of major incident, a mass shooter, a fire, whatever. And people who are in some of those seats right now, I'm trying to imagine them getting down those ramps in the South Stadium. And I think the safety issues are very important here, and I think it's part of the whole redo of the stadium is to build a stadium where people will feel like they can get in safely, they can get where they want to go, and they can get out safely if they need to evacuate on a last scary moment. So I agree that it's a historic place, and it's one of our cultural histories in this state, and maintaining it is incredibly important, and that's not been happening for many, many reasons, but I agree that it's part of our culture, and it's part of our history, and we have incredible people who come to be athletes in our university system, and I want them to feel like we care about their safety. We care about making sure they have the athletic experience that they believe they came for. So my social work heart reaches out to Brock and says, this is a worrisome thing. Kathy, same for me, but I think in terms of our history as a state, a history as a university, and our really commitment to all the people in Nebraska, we owe it to keep this stadium the kind of incredible monument to Nebraska spirit that it's been for all these years. So I'll be voting yes on this.
Regent Chair, I appreciate your point about like the safety and the accessibility for the fans. I think that's incredibly important. And I think that could reasonably be a separate proposal to do all of the ADA and all of the structural things, as people have mentioned about the E-Stadium collapse. That absolutely needs to be done. I totally agree. And if this was a separate proposal, I would have voted yes, no comment. But this is coming along with $400 million of extra work that is providing a necessity to then reseat and extract more revenue from the fans. And yes, I agree that everything is going up in price. But when things go up in price across the board, what do people give up on? They give up on the extra amenities in their life. They will potentially give up on, trying to afford a season ticket. So when I vote no on this, it's not because I don't believe that the accessibility and other things need to be improved in the stadium. It's that I believe that the importance of game day to all Nebraskans is tantamount, and we need to provide that experience to the most people possible.
Else? And I guess, is there a motion to approve 11?
It's already been.
What's that?
Roll call.
Roll call. Roll call.
Regent Calamari.
No.
Regent Wilkins.
Yes.
Regent Schroeder.
Yes.
Regent Lacey.
Yes.
Regent Kenny.
Yes.
Regent Makovica. Regent Schaefer.
Yes.
Regent Shear.
Yes.
Regent Stark.
Yes.
Regent Whites.
Yes.
Regent Wilmot.
Yes.
Regent Clare.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item 11B2 seeks your approval of the university system facilities bonds and related financing matters. This resolution authorizes a financing through the University of Nebraska Facilities Corporation not to exceed $300 million to finance various projects as may be considered and approved by the Board of Regents in accordance with regular board policies governing capital projects. The resolution authorizes the issuance of a maximum maturity of 40 years, but maturities will be based on market interest rates and are expected to be 30 years or less. The resolution further authorizes the execution and delivery of the related financing documentation and delegates authority to certain officers, including the President and Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer, to make certain determinations and approve and finalize the terms of the bonds and related documentation. These items, again, were extensively reviewed, and I recommend them to you based on the review and recommendation of the Business and Finance Committee. Regent Kenny.
So move.
Is there a motion to approve 11B2? Jim?
Yes, it was.
Second. Any comments? All in favor? Or roll call? Excuse me.
Regent Wilkins.
Marion.
Regent Wilkins is gone. Regent Schroeder.
Oh, yes.
Regent Lacey.
Yes.
Regent Calamari.
Yes.
Regent Makovica. Regent Schaefer.
Yes.
Regent Shear.
Yes.
Regent Stark.
Yes.
Regent Whites.
Yes.
Regent Wilmot.
Yes.
Regent Clare.
Yes.
Regent Kenny. Motion passes.
Okay, so we will now move to the campus-specific business and finance agenda items, starting with the Lincoln campus. And as we have previously done, we will continue to outline each of these items from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln separately, and the board will be asked to vote on them together. And again, if any regent wishes to extract any matter herein and have that considered voted separately, they may certainly make the motion to do so. So, starting with 11B3, seeks your approval of the STAR-TRAN transportation agreement between UNL and the City of Lincoln. The University of Nebraska-Lincoln seeks approval to enter into a transportation agreement with the City of Lincoln by and through the Lincoln Transportation and Utilities Department, StarTran Division, for continued campus transit services. Under this agreement, StarTran will provide weekly transit services during academic terms and summer sessions on route number 22, which is main campus to Nebraska Innovation Campus, and routes 24 and 25, which are inter-campus circulation routes. StarTran will provide and maintain all buses, operators, fuel, maintenance, capital equipment, and related operating costs necessary to operate the routes. No fares will be charged to UNL students, faculty, or staff on any StarTran fixed route upon presentation of a valid UNL bus pass. StarTran will provide monthly performance reporting and operate in compliance with the Federal Transit Administration standards. And in addition, upon request, StarTran may make available up to 8 buses for up to 72 hours to assist with UNL emergency operations if needed. The initial term of the agreement will commence August 24th, 2026 and expire August 20th, 2028, with one optional 2-year renewal term upon written mutual agreement of the parties. The next item is 11B4 that seeks your approval of the University of Nebraska at Lincoln program statement and budget for the Varner Hall renovation of Elephant Hall. This project constitutes the first major renovation of Varner Hall's main floor in its 98-year history and includes 4,760 gross square foot addition to support the collection stewardship, safe specimen handling, and improved visitor circulation. The primary objective of this is to protect and extend the life of the museum's most significant fossil specimens and historic murals while enhancing their educational, research, and public engagement value. More than 1/3 of the project budget is dedicated to the evaluation, conservation, and digitization of fossil specimens, including irreplaceable holotypes, as well as the documentation and preservation of the Dolan murals. The scope also includes improvements to the main public entry sequence and the addition of a south side freight elevator to address long-standing logistical, operational, and safety challenges associated with moving large specimens. Together, these investments represent a critical and long overdue update to Elephant Hall and are essential to maintaining Varner Hall's role as a campus, state, and regional asset as it enters into its second century of service. The next agenda item is 11B5 that seeks your approval of the program statement and budget for the Student Success and Activities Center renovation at the University of Nebraska Lincoln Campus College of Technical Agriculture in Curtis. This modern complex will serve as a hub for collaboration, partnership, and experiential learning. Key features include a welcoming dining hall, a dynamic student success hub offering mentoring, coaching, and advising, and experiential learning support, as well as innovative learning commons that foster connections and collaboration. Together, these elements create a vibrant environment where students are supported, challenged, and inspired to achieve their full potential. This project moves the kitchen and cafeteria, better known as Aggie Dining, for the NCTA campus to the Student Success and Activity Center. Currently, these facilities are housed on the lower level of the East Traditional Hall. A 3,500 square foot addition will be added to the Student Success and Activity Center to accommodate the new kitchen, serving area, coffee shop, and deli. And having been in the old facility, I can tell you it definitely needs an upgrade. The existing gymnasium area will also be renovated into the cafeteria sitting area and a student lounge. The current stage area will be removed to make way for new public accessible restrooms, mechanical electrical space, and 3 private study rooms. Again, these items were extensively reviewed and recommended by the Business and Finance Committee, and I do present them to you today for your consideration. Regent Kenny.
President, is there a motion to approve 11B3?
So moved.
11B4, 11B5.
We're not getting punchy or anything, but I will move that.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I would just also add, having been out there to NCTA, and I know you have too, to their dining area and things, this will be great. It really will. It'll really improve things. And they reach out, the community comes up there and they participate in their dining area and things, and I think it's a good move.
Anyone else?
I just want to say about Moral Hall. First of all, my father helped put together some of those fossils, and I learned from these support materials that we have one of the top 5 collections of certain fossil vertebrate. Now, I can't name them.
Woolly mammoth.
Yeah, but it's 30,000 Nebraska students in K through 12 visited Moral Hall, and I'm telling you, it was a part of my history as a student back in the ancient days. But it's amazing, and I hope that all of you have an opportunity to go there before and after, because it's a remarkable place.
Vote, please.
Regent Schroeder?
Yes.
Regent Lysy?
Yes.
Regent Calamari?
Yes.
Regent Wilkins?
Yes.
Regent Schaefer?
Yes.
Regent Shear?
Yes.
Regent Stark?
Yes.
Regent Whites?
Yes.
Regent Wilmot?
Yes.
Regent Clare? Regent Kenny? Regent Makovica? Motion passes.
Thank you. We now have one business and finance item from UNMC, and that is item 11B6 that I referred to in my earlier remarks, that seeks your approval of the intermediate design review for a UNMC infectious disease air transport, better known as the IDAT training facility project. UNMC infectious diseases air transport training facility intends to use community project funding, congressionally directed spending from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration, better known as HRSA, and the Department of War funding sources, which will include the use of the construction manager at risk delivery method, that is to say, no taxpayer tuition or other university dollars. The contractor was selected as the CMR through a competitive qualification-based selection process in accordance with all Board of Regents policies. The GMP contracts will be in the standard form and executed only within the scope, schedule, and budget approved by the Board of Regents. Upon execution, the GMP contracts will be reported through the standard contract reporting process. Again, this item was extensively reviewed, discussed, and recommended by the Business and Finance Committee, and I do recommend it to you today for your approval.
President, is there a motion to approve 11B6?
So moved.
What a second.
Second.
Any discussion?
I saw these in action at an event at UNO last Friday night that the foundation offered, and there's a private company that is now marketing some of the work that they're doing. And I think the future of this is so important, both for us as non-military, but for our military safety, for the way in which viruses and scary other things are spreading. This kind of motion forward is going to be the direction of technology in this transportation arena. So I highly approve of this one.
Anyone else? All vote, please.
Regent Lysy?
Yes.
Regent Calamari?
Yes.
Regent Wilkins?
Yes.
Regent Schroeder?
Yes.
Regent Shear?
Yes.
Regent Stark?
Yes.
Regent Whites?
Yes.
Regent Wilmot?
Yes.
Regent Clare? Regent Kenny?
Yes.
Regent Makovica?
Yes.
Regent Schaefer?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. The next is a group of 3 items from the University of Nebraska at Omaha. As we again have previously done, we'll outline each of the 3 items from the UNO separately, and the board will be asked to vote on them together. And again, if any regent wishes to extract any matter herein and have that considered and voted on separately, they can make a motion to do so. So, item 11B7 seeks your approval of the proposed purchase price for the acquisition of a student housing complex located on the UNO Scott campus at 6640 Pine Street, Omaha, Nebraska, better known as Scott Crossing, and required by the board authorized ground lease in order for UNO to negotiate the remaining provisions of the purchase agreement. The Board of Regents previously authorized a ground lease that required the purchase of Scott Crossing under the present circumstances. However, the ground lease does not set forth, and the Board of Regents has not considered a purchase price for Scott Crossing. Negotiations between the parties to the ground lease have arrived at a proposed purchase price of $42 million. Regents Policy 6.2.3.4 subsection B requires that each campus, quote, maintain an appraisal by a qualified real estate appraiser concerning the fair and reasonable market price of property proposed for acquisition, unquote. UNO has done exactly that and obtained a proposal that supports the proposed purchase price. Approval of the proposed purchase price is therefore requested in order for UNO to negotiate the remaining provisions of the purchase agreement. If the proposed purchase price is not approved, the university will remain contractually obligated to purchase Scott Crossing, however. The next item is item 11B8. This is the program statement and budget for the Samuel Bach Museum and Learning Center at the University of Nebraska at Omaha. In December 2019, under the leadership of the former chancellor, and by the way, that would be me, an artist and Holocaust survivor, Mr. Samuel Bach, gifted 512 works of art to the University of Nebraska at Omaha to create a space of learning and conversation. UNO placed the museum in a temporary location in Exarban Village in February of 2023 to test the programmatic offerings to the university constituency and community, which has been extremely successful, and for those of you that haven't visited, I highly recommend it, has been extremely successful to date. The Chris Library was chosen as a site for the proposed museum renovation and addition because of its central location to campus, visibility from Dodge Street, and because it has a number of underutilized spaces that be converted into museum-quality programming without taking away from the library's core mission. This project, if completed, when completed, will provide approximately 27,900 square feet, three-level addition, which will connect to the existing Chris Library, which will have an additional approximately 8,000 square feet of renovation dedicated to the new museum and learning space. It will include lobby functions, classrooms, galleries, art storage, and support spaces. And then finally, item 11B9 seeks your approval today for the execution of an agreement to license the multimedia rights of the University of Nebraska at Omaha to Omaha Sports Properties, LLC, Learfield, on the UNO campus. The current agreement with Learfield ends on June 30th, 2026. In the multimedia rights agreement between UNO and Learfield, UNO agreed to license to Learfield certain multimedia rights related to UNO athletics. The new agreement will supersede the current agreement with updated language to reflect the current landscape of collegiate athletics. The agreement would go into effect July 1st of 2026. This new agreement will be a 10-year agreement terminating June 30th, 2036, and guarantees a minimum rights fees of $18,250,000 paid to UNO over the term of the contract. Learfield will additionally endeavor to provide trade to UNO of up to $300,000 in value annually. Baxter Arena, Builder-Trend Club, Maverick Park, Coniglia Field, and future facilities naming rights inventories are retained by the university. Again, these items were extensively reviewed, and I present them today to you for your consideration. Regent Kinney.
Thank you, Mr. President. Is there a motion to approve 11B7, 11B8, and 11B9?
So moved.
Your second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, I would just, really quickly, I know it's almost what's on 1:30, but I just think that these are, especially the Sam Bach Museum, I think that is a great addition, would be a great addition to the UNO campus and the Omaha community, as well as the state of Nebraska. I want to thank every, person, whether it's down to like the renderings or the future workers within the museum, Dr. Gold for his work on this, and also Chancellor Lee and her team to kind of finish this project and see it through. So I'm, very excited to see this on the agenda and hopefully pass today.
Anyone else?
I'm a big supporter of the Learfield project. I think that's a good way to go for UNO.
Roll call, please.
Regent Calamari.
Yes.
Regent Wilkins.
Yes.
Regent Schroeder.
Yes.
Regent Lysy.
Yes.
Regent Stark.
Yes.
Regent Whites.
Yes.
Regent Wilmot.
Yes.
Regent Clare. Regent Kenny.
Yes.
Regent Makovica. Regent Schaefer.
Yes.
Regent Shear.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. On to exec, changes in Board of Regents bylaws. Item 11C1 seeks your approval to certain changes to the bylaw 6.8 of the bylaws University of Nebraska Board of Regents. These changes clarify university's responsibility regarding defense and identification of members of the board, university officers, employees, students in training to remain consistent with current practices. These changes have been reviewed previously at committees and published for information at the February 6, 2026 board meeting. The item has been reviewed and recommended by Academic Affairs, Business and Finance Committee, Executive Committee, and I recommend you for their approval. Is there a motion to approve 11C1?
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? Roll, please.
Regent Wilkins.
Yes.
Regent Schroeder.
Yes.
Regent Lysy.
Yes.
Regent Calamari.
Yes.
Regent Whites.
Yes.
Regent Wilmot.
Yes.
Regent Clare.
Yes.
Regent Kenny.
Yes.
Regent Makovica. Regent Schaefer.
Yes.
Regent Shear.
Yes.
Regent Stark.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, some more updates. Item 11C2 seeks to approve changes in chapters 4 to 6 of the University of Nebraska Board of Regents policies. This item has been reviewed and recommended by the Academic Affairs Committee, Business and Finance Committee, and Executive Committee, and I recommend it for your approval. Is there a motion to approve 11C2?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I move to amend item 11C2 by removing section 5.9 so there can be further consideration and discussion on this section.
Can you give me the
Is there a
page
second?
number?
Is there a second?
Can,
5.9.
Second.
No. I don't have the page
it's
number.
Regent Wilmot. It's the student fees section.
fees.
Okay.
And what they're asking for is for it to be removed so we can consider further changes.
Did we vote on this first, correct?
Yes, who seconded?
I did.
Vote on the motion.
Yes?
It-
Motion to remove.
Yes.
Just the student fees portion.
Yeah, this is the vote on the motion to remove the student fees portion from the remainder of chapters 4 through 6.
Want discussion?
Yes.
Or is that where we are?
Yes.
Is it possible to, I realize, this is to remove all of 5.9, but I would prefer that we just move anything related to Fund B onto committees to go back to and discuss Fund A. That's my
I
opinion.
disagree. I think some Fund A stuff needs to be looked at as well.
No discussion until you have a second.
I think we should call the question.
Okay, we're voting on removing 5.9.
Yes.
Now you can have discussion.
Yep. Regent Lysy.
No.
Hold on. What are we voting on?
We are removing 5.9 from the remaining chapters 4 through 6. So we're going to review that further.
then
So it will
then
probably come
vote
for a
on
vote in the
The
future.
rest of it.
Anyone else?
Any other questions? Okay. Regent Lysy.
No.
Regent Calamari.
Abstain.
Regent Wilkins.
Yes.
Regent Schroeder.
Yes.
Regent Clare.
Yes.
Regent Kenny. Regent Makovica. Regent Schaefer.
Yes.
Regent Shear.
Yes.
Regent Stark.
Yes.
Regent Whites.
Yes.
Regent Wilmot.
Yes.
Motion passes. 5.9 is removed from chapters 4 through 6 for now.
And I
Just to
would
be
like-
very clear, the edits, the updates in sections 5.9 are removed, meaning it stands as it has stood previously until such a time that that section comes back to the board for consideration. It's not removed in that.
Thank you for,
Thank you.
Okay, we're back to the original motion. Did we get
we had, yep.
on the table? Any comments on the other changes?
Regent Schroeder.
Yes.
Regent Lysy.
Yes.
Regent Calamari.
Yes.
Regent Wilkins.
Yes.
Regent Wilmot.
Yes.
Regent Clare.
Yes.
Regent Kenny.
Yes.
Regent Makovica. Regent Schaefer.
Yes.
Regent Shear.
Yes.
Regent Stark.
Yes.
Regent Whites.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And if I may make a motion, I'm not sure that I can, but I'm going to try. RP Section 6.6.4, I would move that we do some further review and come back with some recommendations based upon current market, if we could.
Just a suggestion.
Yeah, so since 4.4 through 6 has passed with those changes, what I would suggest is that you bring to the committees the additional changes that you would like to see made, and we'll consider that in future meetings.
Okay, everybody start looking at it.
6.6.4?
6.6.4.
Regent Kinney, there are also numerous reports for the board's review, and I commend them to you for your attention.
Thank you. I accept the reports listed in the agenda on behalf of the board. Any regents have any additional business? Seeing none, if there's no objection, we'll stand adjourned.